O inglês une todas as culturas e transforma um mundo em um só. E faz parte da cultura inglesa trazer este mundo até você. Aprender inglês de verdade, de forma dinâmica e divertida, com aulas ao vivo pela internet, faz parte da cultura inglesa. Com os professores mais capacitados do mercado, que te ajudarão a falar inglês desde a primeira aula. Ser a escola de inglês mais completa, com as melhores condições de pagamento, faz parte da cultura inglesa. O mundo faz parte da cultura inglesa.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful broadcast here with Cultura Inglesa. I am Trevor Audio Goodrich, and joining me once again is none other than Teacher Bruno and my cat Trouble. It seems she's very excited to be on camera here. How are you, Bruno?
I'm doing fine, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for stepping in my absence yesterday. I'm sure we had some great, exciting games. Tell me, did you get anything really crazy yesterday?
Oh, definitely. You would have enjoyed it. There was a Darius player popping off in every single game. It was quite fun to see that.
It's never a calm day with Cultura Inglesa, and I'm sure today will be no different. We've got a couple matches for you guys lined up here tonight. We'll be getting into the first one as quickly as we can. But until then, let's just go over why we're here. So Bruno, Cultura Inglesa, they've been helping students learn to speak English as a second language through these tournaments. Kind of like a homework assignment, which is the coolest homework ever. And I'm just so excited to, every time I get to come on to this desk about what we're doing here.
Yeah, and the idea is that students have to communicate in-game in English. That's just a tool that Cultura Inglesa found to show how useful English can be in a teenager's or a person's life, right? And I'm sure that people have been having great fun communicating in English in the games.
Yeah, and it's perfect to do with a medium like video games can really just bridge a lot of gaps, the language barrier included, and it can be a useful tool for helping to learn these things, which just makes it all the more great that we get to watch some fun, some crazy, some wacky League of Legends going on here today. As far as the preseason has been going, we still see a lot of really strong stuff floating around. You mentioned the Darius. Yesterday was the one that popped off. We've seen a couple different picks be really effective here in this last 2 weeks with the Kane on day one. We saw the Jhin pop up a little bit. So now there you go. Darius locked in right away. On the other side, we've got a Samira, a Senna, and a Malphite so far.
Yeah, and this Malphite will not have a very good time in the top lane. This Darius player is unbelievably good. You have to see it.
And, so this is the same players we saw yesterday. Is this
Brunessus? Brunessus, yes, he's a Darius main, and he was carrying his team yesterday.
Should be a treat to watch. It's a pretty easy matchup for him, too, as well, in that top lane, up against what is most likely going to be a Malphite. There's a potential maybe for a swap around, as that Akali's being hovered, but if he does go Bruiser into tank, that is just going to be a slaughter up in the top lane. But we do get to see a blind pick in the bottom, a mirror matchup, thanks to the blind pick in the bottom lane. It's the Samira versus the Samira.
Yeah, and should be an interesting one. Senna will have to play safe when it comes to level 3. Leona can get quite aggressive in that lane.
Yeah, she definitely does. And Samira working really well with those engaged champions. For sure, early on, that Leona is going to give the edge over to the blue side, in the laning phase at least, when we're looking for all-in potential. But if those Zenith Blades don't land, if that Leona can't really put out that CC, that sustain and that poke from the Senna could have the potential to swing that one either way. And when we look at mirror matchups, it can be so snowbally. If one player starts to get ahead, they get those crucial item breakpoints first, then it's pretty much over because you don't have your kit is the exact same played in a vacuum, there should be no mathematical way for you to come back from that.
Yeah, and we have a Hecarim in the jungle, so it's always interesting to see once he gets to level 6, he can definitely have a huge impact in the bottom lane there.
Yeah, kind of has that long range engage that the red team is really looking for with the Malphite, with the Hecarim, even the Senna, having a lot of options to pick fights from a distance and not having to worry about being clumped up as a death ball where you normally expect, or how you normally expect Malphite teams to play, is just in that front to back. We're looking for big 5v5s, but the Hecarim and the Senna really kind of turn it into a bit of a pick comp. If they find somebody isolated, you can send a Hecarim at him. You get that fear. You can get that over-the-wall knockup. Senna can layer that damage on no matter where she is. And that's enough burst to take out all but the tankiest targets. So it's going to be a fast-paced one, and players are going to have to watch out where they're going, especially in those dark corners of the map.
Yeah, they'll have to be wary of. And I think the Malphite, his only job now is to survive the laning phase. Then he's going to be very useful when it comes to team fights. He's going to have a tough one ahead for him, surviving against this Darius player.
Easier said than done for sure, especially a Malphite who I hope he does go Comets. In these matchups, I really prefer, although you get much less resistances and it might not seem good in the team fights, taking the Comet can allow you at least some form of poke, right? Because without it, you're going to walk up, you're going to try to auto-attack that Darius, and he is just going to slam you into the ground. So your only option left is to turn into a mage player. Maybe start with a Doran's Ring for the extra regen, but try to poke down that Darius as much as you can. Don't get close and let him get his combo off. And try to pick up what CS you can, man. It's not going to be easy. Uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Fight fire with fire, go for some poke, farm as much as you can, and then once it gets to team fights, if you get 2 people in an ultimate, you have already done your job, right?
Yeah, you definitely have. As we are just waiting for this game to start, though, let's think about a little how these team fights are going to be working out, because we saw the Darius in the top side, and you've got more insider information than I do. Jungle pathing is where a lot of games, in my mind, are decided at least pre-15 minutes. Do you see the Darius getting a lot of jungle attention? Is this a camp top angle because we have a strong Darius player? Or is he so good that we can leave him alone and he's just going to get fed anyway?
Yeah, the strategy was to leave him alone. The thing is, the enemy jungler was always looking to punish him because he played super aggressively in lane. The thing is, if you don't gank him before level 6, he's going to turn those 2v1s into his favor.
Yeah, Darius belongs to that elite group of champions that actually get stronger when you send more people at him. Champions like Alawi, the Darius, just so difficult as a jungler to actually punish because of those mechanics. But I tend to agree, pre-6 is the way to go. And if you can get some hard CC in there as well, I don't quite recall the jungle pick on the red side, but it's really important to keep that Darius locked down so that he can't keep getting those Q spams off, getting that big healing bonus for himself, and stacking up those hemorrhage stacks as well.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, I believe the jungler for the red team is the Hecarim, so he will be facing a Hecarim.
Oh, yes. Right? Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't offer a lot of options. I feel like pre-6 for the red team, the Malphite and the Hecarim are both really reliant on that level 6, coincidentally. So it might be a kind of leave them alone angle for the other side, too. Yep. Maybe say, hey, we'll give you top lane. Our Malphite's going to take Doran's shield. He's just going to stay in her tower and farm. Let's just full blitz bot or full blitz mid.
I think that's the clever approach. Oh?
Yeah, that's what they're doing right now. They're full blitzing through the jungle. As if you get the flash out of the Senna, that's going to be an important one. Much more vulnerable in that bottom lane for that Leona.
Level 3, Leona's gonna look to all in her, and she's gonna be like shooting fish in a barrel.
And I love to see those level 1 plays, because even if you don't get that flash, you get in your enemies' heads, right? You tell them that you're willing to push forward into that jungle, and then for the rest of the game, they're always cautious, wary of where you could be. But they do not only get the flash, but they get some good vision out of it too. Ward down over that blue pit, as well as in the brush by the black cone. So they're going to have full information on where Hecarim is starting.
Yeah, and let's see how both junglers decide to path this game. As you mentioned earlier, I think they might look to leave top lane on an island and maybe gank mid lane.
Yeah, both of these junglers do have a pretty quick clear, and I wouldn't really be surprised if they decided to power farm to 6. Malphite, though, is struggling up there. Oh, wait, no, is this really a Malphite bot, or am I being trolled right now? Oh no, Bruno, I think we might have the bona fide Darius one-trick up against a Malphite bot in the top lane. I'm getting flashbacks to last week where we had Jax v Jack. At least that one was a fair match. This one just seems unfair.
It does, it definitely does. Well, at least Malphite just went back to base, decided not to give any kills. He's 0 CS now, but
and now Darius says this opponent isn't worthy enough of a challenger for me. He's out seeking out more fights, and he's found Hecarim with the red buff. He's going to steal that one away. There's nothing the horse can do about that. Even had to pop the ghost just to stay alive. Oh, things are looking like they're going to start heading downhill and fast for the red squad.
And that's exactly what Darius did yesterday. He pushed the wave, level 2 went to the red buff, stole the red buff, and he's doing the same here.
Yeah, I mean, and this is all he really has to do. Be at low health, bait the Malphite in, because the way that the bots are hard-coded is that if you are at a certain HP and they feel like they're not in danger, they will walk up and fight you. So you just kind of lead them into your own turret before you start to fight back, and that's 1-0 now for the Darius.
And it's only going to get scarier from here.
So what do you do if you're the red squad? Because, you gotta stop this bleeding if you can. If you let this Darius continue to kill Malphite over and over again, there's no possible way you're going to walk out of this with a win. Do we see maybe the jungler take his place? Or do you have any ideas of how they could try to turn this around?
That one is pretty tough. I think the Hecarim best choice is to get pretty active bottom lane and maybe get ahead and then do something about the top lane, because I don't think they have much of a choice, honestly.
Yeah, this one, I mean, they're going to be starting with such a massive leg down. Anybody would expect the blue team to walk out of this with a win, but what a story would that make, Bruno? If the red squad were able to pull this off, if they could beat the Darius player on Darius when he was up against a bot. So that's what I'm shooting for here. Let's root for the underdogs. Oh, level 3 though.
Okay.
They just got a little bit worse for wear as another kill goes over to Brunessus.
Yeah. Things are looking very dire for the red team. I think they have to hope that this Victor scales, and it's not like the Vigar will not scale too, so it's going to be a uphill battle for sure.
Definitely is. But, this is still a really great opportunity for these players to get some limit testing done, right? In these situations, no, you're not going to win the game. Not with this Darius going for kill number 3 here in the top side. That doesn't mean you can't get anything done. You see the blue squad, they do pick up the dragon, but honestly, if I'm the red team, just try to full send it somewhere. Send that Leona to the mid lane, try to gank him once you get level 6, just pull off some crazy Hail Mary plays, things that you wouldn't even dare do in solo queue. but maybe they'll work here. Maybe you'll hit that 1% and find exactly what you need.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. You have no room for sitting around and waiting. You just have to go all in.
Well, we are just looking, unfortunately, for the Red Squad at a pretty passive early game. The only real goal generation coming from that top lane. The rest of the squad is playing very safe. We've seen Skarner hovering around that bot side, shutting down anything the Hecarim might have. And that mid lane as well has just been purely farm. 46 to 52 CS. The top lane is just farm as well. Another kill going down as Darius doesn't even need the minions. He gets to farm champions. That extra valuable cannon minion named Malphites. And he's going to get a couple plates for it too. I feel like the camera's going to be up here a lot too because it's pretty much just this lane that the kills are going to be coming from.
Yeah, Hecarim is looking to reach his level 6, then might look for a gank, but getting evaded non-stop.
Yeah, and the level 6 has already come through from Skarner. No flash available. The Ghost still on cooldown. I mean, they're going to try to fight back for this one. Victor drops the ultimate, and the Skarner is falling very low. He has to flash the wall, but a TP from Darius is going to be the call to run away. He's still going to find one as he dives under turret. The ultimate not off cooldown. He used that one against Malphite most likely. And, I mean, thank your lucky stars, Senna. She gets to walk away with just 50 HP.
But honestly, great punish from the red team. Victor stole the blue buff, made the Skarner flash, and also got a TP from the Darius.
Yeah, and not much, or nothing, I think, other than the blue buff and one kill, I guess, for the red squad. They did take down the Hecarim. So still a positive play, but you're right, much better than it could have gone. Gore Drinker now finished for the Darius, so he's going to have a little bit of extra mobility, a gap closer, as if he needed the power. Malphite bot just whacking away at him. He does flash, but he's going to burn down to the hemorrhage stacks, and Brunessus will go unstoppable. The blue team wreaking havoc all over the Rift, as in the bottom lane, they've completely forced the Senna and the Samira off their wave. And just holding that one behind the tower as their Samira picks up plates.
Yeah, Victor is actually farming really well here, 15 CS up on the Veigar. So that's going to be the bright spot for the red team.
I mean, you would love to see Victor just be able to come in here, try to do enough damage. You know, the Darius is most likely just going to build raw attack damage, I would hope at least, from all the gold that he's getting from this matchup. So if he doesn't decide to go for some MR, maybe we see a world where that Victor gets big enough to burst him down, at least get him in range for the rest of the squad. As Samira, the red one, falls to her counterpart's ultimate, level 6 to... Not even sure if the red Samira got to the level 6 quite yet. But now they're looking for a further dive. Leona is going to take up the tower, but the Ignite comes through. She forces Samira off, and she might just take down. Oh, so close. In the mid lane, I mean, some action around the map, but none of it really working out for the red squad. Even Hecarim still not level 6. He's getting the backup of his team, though, but he's been pulled right into the waiting arms of Darius, and that's a one slam dunk away from the grave. A flash forward, and there's a double kill. Whew, 10-0 now, and 8 of those kills onto the Darius.
I've seen that movie before.
Pack it up for me. I'm going to be calling this one 10 minutes in.
Yeah, I've seen this movie before. It happened yesterday, and it seems to be the same here. Darius is going to snowball the entire game from this point.
And it becomes so difficult, right? Because with the blind pick format that we've been playing these last 2 weeks, there's not the option to just ban this one away, so you have to think of a counter to it. Unfortunately for the red squad, they didn't even have a top laner, so they couldn't even really do that much. I don't blame them at all for this loss. You know, everything they do, if they can get a single kill, a single tower this game, Even one objective, hell. I will definitely count that as a win in their books, because by all means, the blue team should have the most perfect game of League of Legends I've ever seen.
Yeah, of course. If they do manage to get anything at all, as you said, all props to them. And they're looking to contest the Drake here? Maybe?
Let's see what they can do. Darius is not here, but he does not have TP either. Finally, level 6 for the Hecarim. He doesn't find very much, just one target. Dragon is going to go over the blue squad. Samira finds a bit of damage on her ult, but the stats are just not there. Senna drops the ultimate, and Victor is looking like he might have enough. He does get hit by Leona, though. Does she have the CC? She's so low on mana. Could the one kill come through? The final auto attack! It's not enough. The potion kept her healthy, and Vigar will finally fall. Victor was on the precipice of something great there, but he will just walk away with one kill. The second for his team. They get something on the board, Bruno. We're proud of them. But in the meanwhile, the Darius continuing to just turn his lane kingdom into one of terror right now, as he is starting to wail away at that top lane tier 2, taking away jungle camps as well. Feels no fear. He's pushing up with even just a quarter HP. Shrift Herald going to be popped in the bottom lane as well. Red team, they're going to do everything they can to try to stop this one from charging. The cavalry is here. Malphite, can he find a kill onto the top laner? The ultimate was committed, but I think the levels, the sustain is just too much coming in from the Darius. It was close, I'll give him that, and I respect the attempt. But the Darius will remain undefeated now, sitting at 11-0. Oh, the Victor almost finds a play, rather, in the mid lane as the Vigar will walk away with just a few HP. Can they chase him down, though? That phase rush, he's not going anywhere. Skarner is going to get the auto attack and stun off Leona, picking up kill credit for that. 17-2 now, 13.5 minutes and 8,000 gold up. We're looking for this blue team to turn up the pressure. They find another kill in the bottom lane, this time into the pocket of Samira. She has that shield bow ready to go. And, you know, if I'm looking at this blue team now, stop playing with your food. I want to see this squad pack it up, send it home, move on to the next opponents. Hopefully somebody who's going to have a 5-man squad as Hecarim falls once again. And although it seems like they're going as fast as they can, you know, you got to remember, just 14 minutes in, it's tough to just, you know, even play against those towers, even with a team that's so far ahead. But they are looking to knock down their second tier 1 of the game, opening up that bottom lane. Now it's Skarner's turn to take a whack at the Malphite bot. He does have the Balmy Cinder in hand, so the stacking damage, but you know, no armor available, is still gonna fall this time, giving over some gold to the Skarner. A double kill. Apologies for that. Unfortunately, it seems like we've lost Bruno, so we're going to be flying solo until he is able to get back on the desk. We will miss him, but I am sure Darius will be very fed when he gets back. He's looking for a 1v2, actually. Senna, this could be your chance. He does get the pull, though, and that might mean it. Doesn't hit on the swing, and so now the red team have a chance. They can shut him down. One more Q and 1,000 gold will go into the pockets of Hecarim. It's the horse, of course. But can Malphite bot survive long enough to stave off the top lane? He flash ults out of there. That was actually a pretty sick maneuver coming from the AI. But it will leave his turret vulnerable. And Samira, Leona, more than happy to chip a little bit of damage away from that one until Senna shows up. But now the whole map fair game for the blue team. Vigar is working on that mid lane tier 1, stacking up those Qs on the minions and picking up whatever gold he can. And honestly, for Vigar, although we haven't seen him participate as much in the action as his teammates, really doesn't need to be. You know, has that infinite scaling. Every time he's able to kill a minion with those Qs, he gets that permanent ability power buff. So happy to just be able to sit here at AFK farm in the mid lane, while the rest of his squad is just doing some work. Ocean Dragon now on the table. It will be the 3rd for the blue squad if they can pick it up. Working on the Ocean Soul to put them on soul point. Doesn't seem like there's even any contention from the red team. They know that 10,000 gold down, they just can't win that fight. Hecarim's still back in base, and they'll choose to plant their banner, plant their last stand somewhere else. Flash forward there from the Skarner, and he's found Senna, dragged her back, Samira rather, right into a cage, and she is able to flash to safety. Now Hecarim looking for the counter engage. Red team, they find a good amount of damage, but it's 4v4. The Darius is in the bottom lane, 3v4 rather. He's pushing on those turrets. The blue team is just buying time. And now the red team have to make a choice. Defend your base, stop the Darius, or stop this Rift Herald from going down. They cannot do both. Skarner going to stop by the top lane and pick up his $200. Pass go, take down Malphite. Going to cash in for a payday eventually. Even though he is an AI, the Malphite bot still pretty tough to take down. A lot of resistances on that champ. 1v4, Darius, it's just a little bit too much. The shutdown comes through once again, and could this be a light of shining hope for the red team? A couple of more mistakes like that, a couple of more big shutdowns, who knows? Maybe a player will have a pop-off potential under their bag. But right now, it's a 3-man squad in the top lane, pushing up for the blue team. We'll see if Leona and Vigar can finally crack that mid lane tier 1. Victor has done such a good job at defending this. Lots of wave clear. He's got a bit of AP built up. 1-4-1, still has that Leandries, and there's a great wombo combo. Malphite bot finds an engage onto the Samira. She's looking for an ultimate to flash away, but gonna be shut down by the Senna. Will not let her run any further. The Herald will push, but the turret will stand, and Samira will fall. And some more gold into the pocket of the red team. Some sloppy mistakes coming in from the blue squad. Could this be another one right here? Stunned under turret. 2 tower shots is all Skarner's going to take, but there's the ultimate from the Victor and from the Hecarim. They're looking for the damage, but the CC train is there. Hecarim, oh, what a great ultimate from Leona. Finds 2. Heck goes back in with another charge. But here comes Darius, the TP in. He's got the ghost. He's looking for it. There's 1 ultimate. Can he find the reset? There's 2. How much more can he pop off? None. It seems like the red team smartly not even going to give him the option. Ends up being a 2-for-1 trade, I believe, at the end of it all. Actually, not even sure if the blue team dropped a member. But that gold graph, it's closing. That number, it's getting lower. We were up at 12k, now down to just 10. We'll see if the red team can find anything to give them the hope in this game. As the game goes on, we are going to see more and more opportunities for these comeback mechanics. The Baron, the Elder Dragon. Sure, the red team might not win a straight-up 5v5 fight for them, but all it takes is a Hecarim over the wall, maybe get a steal. One of those can actually turn the game around, and we see a couple of players starting to get some key items. Edge of Night finish for the Samira. We got the Leandry's Torment for the Victor. First items actually across the board except for that Malphite. But it seems like the blue squad are turning up the heat. The base has been broken as Brutus is taking down that bottom lane inhibitor turret. Hecarim might have found Samira. Gets the Senna ultimate out of it just to put down some extra damage, but that lifesteal should keep her fine and dandy. Tier 2 still stands for the red team in mid. Victor trying desperately to defend it, but now looks like he's getting dove. The baby cage coming out just to buy some spaces. Skarner does a drive-by through the mid lane. The turret does fall, but not too much of an important one. Red team going to be okay with that. Let that one go. Oh, we'll see if the Darius gets let go, though. No, the fear, the knockup, another shutdown. This time over to Samira, that gold is getting spread around. And that bounty less and less. Only 350 gold there compared to the 700 we saw earlier. But that's still 3 shutdowns back to back. And maybe, just maybe Darius is getting a little bit too greedy. Oh no, he disconnected for a minute. He got me there. He baited me. I thought he was going to rage quit, but no, just some connectivity issues, and he's right back into the game. Right as the Hecarim is in that baby cage, he can't go anywhere, but he doesn't need to. He says, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. He helps his team pick up 2 quick kills right as that dragon is about to spawn. Now Darius is back out onto the map, but he doesn't have TP to join his squad. This is the best chance the red team has had all game. But the jungler is alive. They have to make sure the steal doesn't come through. It does! The Ocean Soul going over to the blue team. It's stolen away the one chance the red squad had. And that window is slammed shut on them. They are going to have to retreat, tails between their legs, because they know that Darius is coming soon. But what a devastating turn of events for them. Finding 2 quick kills right as that dragon was spawning. Right as they had taken out the raid boss, the Darius, and to get it stolen away is just so unfortunate. It does seem, though, that the Darius might be having some connectivity issues, so potentially this could actually even up the score a little bit. Obviously, we never like to see a player unable to connect to the game. Everybody should be able to share into this experience, but, you know, if you're the blue squad, or the red team, rather, let's be honest. You're looking at this, and this is a miracle in the making. The most fed member on the enemy team, the 16-3-1 Darius, the player that was going up against your missing lane, could now be AFK, and that might mean that there's a glimmer of hope. You're still staring down the barrel of a 9,000 gold deficit Ocean Dragon, infinite stacking, 4-2 Vygar, 4-2 Skarner, and even the Samira picking up 3 kills. So it's not an easy road. And as I go over all this, the Darius has come back, so his reign of terror is not ending anytime soon. He finds a kill onto the bot, and now he's flashing forward. He smells blood in the water. As he dodges out of that, it's going to be a 1v3. Can he find anything at all? He pulls one back, but he doesn't have anything left in the tank. He has to run away. That's Therix Engage popping him to keep him alive. But while the wild goose chase commences, the rest of the squad, they're going to be taking out the big purple worm. 1,000 HP already, and no red team members any the wiser. That Baron is going to go over scot-free. Is Darius? He was hiding in the bush all along. He didn't go back to base. Oh, the ping's coming out, though. They saw him on the wave, and now they want a piece of that gold. Can he find the heals? He does find one, but the damage isn't quite there. That Samira has the lifesteal now to survive through something like that, at least through those first couple abilities. As you can see, the Darius going straight. He went straight for the IE. This man's a Chad. And that raw damage, though, not doing him any favors in these 1v3 situations. Infinity Edge just doesn't quite fit in the build like it used to. And so I do think that is a bit of a ineffective way to use that gold. Going towards something with a bit more raw damage, raw AD, maybe some health, specifically CDR ability haste, I think would have been much more beneficial for the Darius if he wanted to just continue to 1v9 carry this game. But hey, it's 5v4. Maybe you just want to have some fun with it. And fun's what we're all about here at Cultura Inglesa. As I'm sure the blue team is having plenty. 10,000 gold reclaimed. Their double-digit gold lead. As now Skarner, he's just running straight down the mid lane. Good QSS by the Samira. And the baby cage is going to be dropped down, but Vygar, he's going to go boom. Now the red squad, they want in. A big ult from Samira, and they might actually find a fight here. Brunessis is walking up to the fight, though. So we'll see. Yeah, the red squad, they see the Darius, and they're hightailing it out of there. They don't want a single piece of what Brunessis is selling. And it's going to be the mid lane siege, the Baroned up minions, blue team wearing purple. Can they charge through? Can they break the base open here in the mid lane? There's a lot of wave clear coming out from that Victor. And the red team actually, they're able to stall that wave at least. Gonna buy another couple precious seconds for them. No other waves in position for the blue team. Both top and bot pushing away from them. And so the red team can focus all their efforts solely on this mid lane. As the blue squad is going to rely on their push and just going to resign to clearing out the jungle instead. Looking for some vision, perhaps catching somebody off guard. And honestly, looking at this game, 26 minutes in, if you had told me at the very start, at least at the moment we realized what the top lane situation was, if this was going to last 26 minutes, I might have laughed in your face just a little bit, not going to lie. I would have felt bad about it, but I still would have done it. And now, here we are, almost 27 minutes in, and, you know, thanks to some risky plays, some cash-ins from the red squad, they're able to keep this one actually kind of close. Teleport's going to be channeled. The Darius is looking for something, but the Hecarim, he's already used everything he has. He has no other way to get out, but he will go down. The Darius now, he's looking for more. They found one. Can they find anything else? The Skarner here, he flashes, he ults, and he drags that Victor straight in, but his team is nowhere to be found. He's a lone wolf in the back line. Still almost finds the damage to take out the Victor. And now the pull is going to land onto the Samira. There's the Duncan. There's the kill. That's what the blue squad was looking for, a high-profile target that they can now transition into that Elder Dragon should they so wish. They have a couple of options here. That mid lane turret, right for the taking, but again, they don't have waves in position, so it's hard to focus down that one lane that your enemy is so focused on defending. So instead, they're going to make the call to fall back to that dragon. And with 15 seconds still on Samira, and that big ultimate, that big team fight damage out of the picture, I don't think the red team really has much of a choice, but they have to go for this. You can't just let an Elder Dragon walk over 3 free. Hecarim, he's in the area, but there's a Darius in between him and the pit. He has no vision, and that's it. The Elder Dragon goes over to the blue squad. It's 13k. It's nearly every turn in the game, and it's an Elder Dragon to boot. This squad can't get much stronger from here on out. We're going to be looking for them to close it out here and now. If they can't, then I start to draw some questions on if they ever really will. You know, that's really surprising to be saying at this point, but in a 5v4 situation, if you can't close this one out in 30 minutes with an Elder Dragon, you know, then maybe it's just not in the cards. Darius is looking to lead the charge himself. He goes straight down that mid lane. He flashes forward. He finds the Samira again. And the damage is way too much. She's going to get taken down by the Skarner. As Darius does have to retreat for a minute. Got the Victor ultimate out there. And now here's the full core charge from the blue squad. They find a Hecarim dragged straight back into the baby cage, and there's just nowhere for him to go. That's the front line decimated, and the back line will soon to follow. The AI in the bot lane is just in la-la land right now. And all the red team has to say is riot, please. The Senna will be the last casualty on the red squad. Finally, the Malphite shows up to the party, but there's just no hope left. The Nexus will fall in pre-30 minutes. I eat my words. The blue squad has no problem finishing this one up. It's going to be a quick and clean victory for their squad. What an absolute slaughter we saw from the blue team there. There's not much more to say. So unfortunate when a team has those issues and can't have their full 5-man roster come to the table. It's understandable, though. I'm just glad they still played. Got to give mad respect, a lot of credit to the red team. They still decided, even a man down, to show up to the field, play the game the best they could, and they made it fun to watch. There was shutdowns in there. Was big plays. They even took away, or almost took away, a dragon at one point. So head held high, guys. Thank you for trying, but it's going to be the blue squad that moves on The Darius threat will continue. We're going to go into a short break as we get the next game booted up and ready to go for you guys. Don't go anywhere. More Cultura Inglesa action soon to come. Oh, I am just hearing in my ear now that we actually have the next game all ready to go. So no break required. We're going to hop straight into this one. As you see, blind pick once again. It is going to be on the blue side. We see RX Raptor VAQB, PV Champ, Basket V, Warwick, and Cat 22 going up against Ori Sign. We're going to call the Vigar Liss because I don't think that's a real word in any language. Bat Carrots 679, Skarner, Firante, and Brunessus. So, blue team from last game will now be on the red squad up against a brand new roster. Thankfully, no AIs this time around. It's going to be a full, fair 5v5. And that Darius insta-locked in. No chance to ban him away. We do see a Jin Bean Hovered. It's another one of those really big power picks, and the Kane to go with it. There's some heavy hitters on the blue team. The Darius is strong, but are they picking up enough to support him with? It's the same comp, top to bottom, for the red team. But this time, they've got an entirely new challenger to go up against. We're going to take our short break here now with the spectator delay coming up. More Cultura Inglesa action as soon as these players get back onto the Rift.
O inglês une todas as culturas e transforma um mundo em um só. E faz parte da cultura inglesa trazer este mundo até você. Aprender inglês de verdade, de forma dinâmica e divertida, com aulas ao vivo pela internet, faz parte da cultura inglesa. Com os professores mais capacitados do mercado, que te ajudarão a falar inglês desde a primeira aula. Ser a escola de inglês mais completa, com as melhores condições de pagamento, faz parte da cultura inglesa. O mundo faz parte da cultura inglesa.
And welcome back, everybody. It's Trevor Audio Goodrich, and it's teacher Bruno in the same place at the same time. How about that?
Good to be back here,
back, Bruno. We
Thank
did
you.
see, as expected, the Darius just kind of cleaning up that match. 30-minute slaughterhouse, 15,000 gold lead for the squad. But this time, we're going to see them go up against a full 5-man roster. It's going to be the same composition for the team, this time on red side, but some fresh faces going up against. So there's some powerful picks. We see the return of both the Jin and the Kane this time around. The Shen up there against the Darius.
Yeah, Shen doesn't also have the greatest of matchups against the Darius, but of course he has his ultimate to try to impact the map once he hits level 6. So he might have an easier time than a Malphite would.
Yeah, and it's not the greatest matchup. Sure, there's no great matchups into the Darius, but at least it's a lot better than the Malphite. You get that ability to dodge those auto attacks, prevent those hemorrhage stacks from actually turning up. And if the Shen takes those kind of short, quick trades, you get those 3 empowered auto attacks with your Q, you time that with your W and not take any damage in return. You keep them short, and you can actually win out on that lane in some scenarios. Now, of course, in the extended trades, does get a little bit harder. Oh my goodness, it's straight in level 1. They found Warwick 1v9 on the Kane, and they're chasing him down. The Ignite is popped. Will he fall? Will he take the flash, the auto, the first blood from the Samira? Wow, this team is wasting no time in getting started. It's a double kill. 53 seconds in, Bruno. We've got 2 kills on the board.
Oh my world! And if I'm Jin right now, I'm feeling pretty miserable. Facing a Samira with 2 early kills, that's gotta be a nightmare.
And she gets time to go back to base, spend that gold. Will likely be 2 BF, sorry, not BF swords, that'd be crazy. 2 long swords, possibly, there she's gonna go with the boots and an extra potion instead. But yeah, that's crazy. And to come and, into the jungle, force those summoners as well. Not only 2 kills, but we got the 2 summoners out, traded for 3 on the other side, put into the jungle of Warwick 1v9. If any of you were watching last week, our very first broadcast, this was the man that basically did what that Darius from last game did. He just completely took over every single game on this Kane, and he was very much living up to his tag 1v9. So putting him specifically at that bad start is so big for this red squad.
And the red squad might have gotten information on that, so this might have been a strategy that they came into the game with to get this player behind from the get-go.
They did their homework. Always love to see it coming out from teams. And, I mean, it definitely worked for them. 2 kills for that Samira. We'll see what they can turn that into. Looking at that bottom lane, both summoners still available for the Jin and the heal up for the Lulu. So, it's as long as that Lulu can play pretty far back in the lane, doesn't get hit by those Zenith Blades, that's still a very defensive lane. It can be hard to take control of it. So we'll see, what might be a small CS advantage now could turn into much more down the line. That's what we're hoping for. Good tag there. But as far as junglers go, both are heading up towards the top side. We've seen Warwick 1v9 put a lot of attention towards the top half of the map. He very often goes for that level 3 rush into this game right here through the wall, and they found him in a 1v2. But again, 1v2s just make Darius stronger. He's going to go for the kill anyway. The flash forward, and he finds it. He finds the trade kill. Can he turn around to Warwick?
Oh my God.
Kill. He does it again. There's no way This man is just too strong. And Warwick 1v9. Oh, he's shaking his head right now. He must be fuming. Well
I've
played from
seen
the
that.
Darius. Well played indeed.
I've seen that before. He often turns one in his favor. That's what he does.
And he does it once again. And in the bottom lane, actually, it's the Jhin, it's the Lulu winning out on that trade. But things now so disastrous for that top lane. You know, that was... I definitely think that was the right play. Right from the blue team. Try to attack that Darius and put him behind, but messing up an execution, not actually getting that kill, means the rest of the game gets really hard for you.
In the game, who was already behind from the start of the game, now it's in a much more difficult situation. He's gonna get behind in XP. Skarner is invading his camps. What is he doing
They're
here?
going to go for another play onto him. They want the 1v2 again. This Darius, he has the double buffs. Can he get him back, though? Warwick 1v9 says, I'm not letting you shut me out of this game. And he finds revenge. The buffs have been reclaimed.
And that shows extremely solid mental power from the Kayn. Going back to the lane, facing a Darius with double buffs and getting back the kill.
Oh yeah, I gotta tell you, if that was my solo queue game, everybody on my team would be pinging that Kayn back, and you know, even I would just be like, I'm never going top again. What a loser top laner. He 1v2'd us. Now I'm never ganking you again. But Kayn, not Warwick 1v9. He went straight back there and he said, you know what, those buffs you're holding for me, just that, you're holding them for me. It's temporary. And he finds that kill back, and now this game looks a little bit more manageable. Still tough, but at least manageable. Echo goes in, tries to find that kill on Skarner, but does miss, unfortunately. Now with no ultimate, he's in a world of trouble. He flashes the Leona back into his team. Warwick 1v9, he's looking for skills. He flashes, he smites for HP, and he might get out of this one alive yet. He walks through the wall. Can Samira, can Leona turn this one around? Well, Kayn, he's going forward, but it's not quite enough. Samira's behind him all now. It's a triple kill for the ADC on the red squad. Things are going bad from bad to worse, Bruno. It's now a 3,000 gold lead for the red team.
They saw the red team taking the dragon, and they couldn't help it. They had to contest that. It wasn't a very good choice in the end, though.
Yeah, and I just think the levels weren't quite there for the red squad. You saw that I could go in. He got very close to assassinating that jungler, taking him out of the fight before the objective was really even started, but no level 6 meant that he was so easily collapsed on. And same for the rest of the squad, not a level 6 in sight. A little bit of good chip damage there from the Aatrox, but he's bleeding out so much farm there under his turret. 25 to 42. You can see those 2 kills have really gone far for the Darius here.
Yeah, and he's gonna go back, get some more items, and the pressure is gonna get worse from now on.
Certainly will. Let's see exactly what he picks up. He's waiting in base, which makes me think straight executioners, actually. That is a purely lane-focused item, and it is going to make Raptor's life so miserable, and I feel horrible for him. Because essentially that one kind of window that the Aatrox had, well, at least I can farm under my turret and stay healthy thanks to my sustain. Not anymore is the Skarner. He's actually just going to drag him straight under turret. Not even going to let him crash the wave. They're chasing him down. No flash or ghost available from the Darius, but there's a flash on the Skarner, and he doesn't need any help. He has enough damage to finish off that kill. Kayn there, but a little bit too little too late, and the gold lead will remain firmly in the hands of the red team.
Yeah, and now Aatrox is just completely out of the game. 0-2-1, 37 CS. He's just gonna have to farm whatever he gets.
And Aatrox not a champion that is intrinsically good no matter what. Not like the Malphite. I mean, we even It was so funny, Bruno. So sorry you couldn't have been on stream to witness it with me. The Malphite was actually making some pretty baller plays there in that last game. The Malphite body had some sick flash ultimates in a team fight. Almost even 1v1 the Darius at one point. Got him down to like 100 HP. But, champions like that, as we see Warwick 1v9 fall here, like the Malphite, they're useful no matter what. You get to that level 6 and you're gonna have a good impact on the game. But Aatrox is not one of those champions. He needs to have good stats, good damage. As here in the bottom lane, relevant is just not a word I'd use for the Jhin and the Lulu right now, as they fall once again to the 2v2. Great scene play from the Leona. Cumulatively 7-0-7 for the bot lane. A very large percentage of their gold lead right now.
This Samira is getting totally out of control. 5-0-2 is gonna go back, complete her first major item, unless Echo has something to say about that.
Yeah, he does get polymorphed on the way in. There's that ultimate we've been waiting for, but no mana available, and the ult ready to respond from Samira means it's another double kill. Now Aatrox, he's trying to 1v2 under turret. That tower is not falling, and it is helping him turn this one around. He finds the kill onto the Darius. Now he's looking for Skarner. He wants to get back into this game, but that is a good escape from the Skarner. Good utilization of the stun into the phase rush to get out of there, that one real easily.
And so much needed gold back in the pockets of the Aatrox. Kane going in.
Yeah, but he's going to be met with a slap to the face from the Defender of the Light. And it's going to be an escape there from the Samira. Both very low on HP. Oh, Jhin very nearly interrupted that one there. The damage came through, but the recall still completed.
Interesting to see Samira going for a more defensive option here. She's 7-0-2. I would expect something more aggressive coming out of her.
Yeah, I think it just has to deal with the incredible synergy that the shield bow provides. On Samira, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that her ultimate, all of the actual ticks count as auto taps, which means they can proc the lifesteal. So the shield bow just essentially turns... I'm not sure, Bruno, do you play any teamfight tactics?
I do play some TFT.
Okay, have you ever seen a Gunblade put on a Katarina? And when she ultimates, she not only gets a bunch of damage, but she just gets her whole health bar back at HP. That's essentially what this shield bow does for the Samira. When she pops that ultimate, if she can hit 3 or 4 targets, the lifesteal she gets from the shield bow is just nuts. And it really let her turn around some plays. She doesn't need it though. She just has enough damage that she is wiping the floor with the opposition. And there's the ultimate. At the end of it all, triple kill and 2 buffs to top it off. It's a cherry on top, and it's a whole Sunday for the red team. 17 kills to 2 and a 9,000 gold lead at 11 minutes. This is even more domination than we saw when they were playing against a 5v4.
That it is. It must be the greatest feeling to be already a very imbalanced champion, get gifted 2 kills in the start of the game, and then by 12 minutes of the game you're 10-0-3.
Oh, it's got to be the best feeling in the world, and I'm sure it's the exact opposite for the blue squad, as they're going to try to turn something into something as they go on to Darius, but they got to be oh so careful. They actually have the damage. He's not really fighting back. I don't think the cooldowns were quite there. I mean, he had the ultimate, but Bredesis accepts his fate, and he will fall. Meanwhile, it's looking like a potential. Go for it.
The itemization choice from the Darius might be costing him a little bit. I don't think the Executioners was quite needed at this point of the game.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's nice for the lane against the Aatrox, but at the time that he bought it, he was already so far ahead that, you're going to kill the Aatrox no matter what. It does also help with the Kayn, so, let's keep that one in mind. And actually, it seems like I'm not sure what if the Darius just completed that item, but it feels like he's been on just the same couple of components for quite a while, so might just be saving up his gold, looking for a big purchase. I'm definitely looking for that 2 to 3 item power spike from him to really turn the heat up.
Yeah, but I think if we were to remove him from the game, put the Malphite mod in this game, it wouldn't matter at all because of the Samir.
Oh man, that is brutal, but unfortunately, it's true. And that's not a dig to the Darius at all. It's just a testament to how ridiculously fed Orisane is right now on the Samira. 10-0 in 3. He has the shield bow and the collector. This has got to be my favorite item in the game as an ADC.
Yeah.
There is nothing more infuriating than somebody getting away with one auto attack of HP. Warwick, he's going to do the same here. Oh, not quite. He's able to go down. Skarner is able to find a kill, and now Orisane is legendary. It's 2 quick ones for the red squad. And the curtain call to open up. Try to dissuade any more. But the Echo, he's going to go straight back into the fray. There's the Lulu ultimate, but he only teleports back to his death. Jhin gets pulled in, and he's going to be taken down. The baby cage drops to keep them safe, and it's another double kill for the Samira. Now 13-0, and they will get the mid lane tier 1 as their prize.
Oh my word, the blue team can catch a break. Everything they try to do goes incredibly wrong. I have to give them props though, they're trying to do something.
Yeah, I mean, right now, again, just trying to get his red buff. He's found 3 members on top of it, but they find the kill onto the Samira. That could be what they need. The big damage is no longer there. The red team's hightailing it home. Leona is able to dodge away from that knockup, but Aatrox, he's got Vigar's number. Is the cage available? That knockup lands. So does the second one, and there's the kill. Now it's Skarner v. Aatrox. The Jhin is going to land the stun. That Skarner, he's pretty strong right in his own right, 3-0 and 5. And you can see how beefy he is. But taking down 2 of the 3 damage carries right before the dragon spawning could bode well for the blue squad. They might even find the jungler a good chunk of damage. Still too tanky to take down all the way. He pulls the Jhin under the turret. They take down the jungler. That was all the damage he needed. The Jhin will fall. And now it's going to be a 4v3. Vigar just respawning. He's going to be making his way back to lane. Back to the dragon with Leona. Will the blue team take this window and try to force a fight? The reinforcements are almost there. It'll soon be a 4v4. And you can see they're going to start up the dragon. Vigar and Leona, they've rejoined now. The blue team, they're trying to burn this one down, but they get pulled in, and here comes the fight. Baby Cage is going to be thrown down. So many members stuck inside, and Samira is popping off. 3 quick kills. The Darius picked up a 4th, and the dragon will be theirs. The red team, they played that one patiently, and when those reinforcements arrived, oh my word.
I just want to dial back a little bit to the earlier play. How is it fair that Skarner looks at 3 members of the enemy team, decides to go in, ults the Jhin, and still manages to kill him?
The life of an ADC, Bruno, it's one all marksmen in League of Legends know too well. I mean, if we want a purely analytical breakdown, it was a really good play by him to go in and grab that Jhin, who should have been playing a bit more safely. Also, has not paid his QSS tax yet, but yes, the extra stats in that Kemtang gauntlet is... Oh my god, I'm not even going to comment on that too much, just because it's kind of the normal here at this point. But that was once tanky Skarner. Maybe Darius is going to go for even more. He ults under the turret. He's going for a 3rd. There it is. The damage should tick down. That will be a triple kill. Double kill, rather, for the Darius as he eventually falls. That Skarner, he may look like a tank, but he's got enough damage to duel with the best of them. Echo has to pop the ultimate just to escape. But is there any escape from the Skarner? Thankfully for Echo, that is not a Spire, so the Skarner will not get that speed boost. Meanwhile, as that chase is going on, the mid lane tower is under siege.
How lucky is the red team though? They're playing these tournaments. The format is blind pick, and they have two one-trick ponies on their team.
I mean, to be fair, we saw Warwick 1v9 take this Kane and do the same thing the red team's doing to all of his opponents on day one. Oh my word! This Samira is 1v3 to the backline. There's the double kill. The Kane is going to ult to delay the inevitable, but it's three quick ones for a marksman. A Quadra! Give him the Penta, boys! The Echo has no ultimate quite yet. Here comes the ultimate from the Kane.
Penta.
And the Penta kill rings throughout the rift. As already seen, there's no better way to end this one out. It's a Herald in the base, a pentakill for the ADC. 21, 1-5, a single death to blemish that near perfect record, and they might go to end it right here, right now. Blue team, they're spawning, but still 10 seconds on the Echo. One Nexus turret's fallen. The red team is still very healthy. The baby cage comes down and finds the Aatrox. Rift Herald has fallen off, and so taking down those towers is a bit more risky now, but they might be going for it. Here comes the Echo. He's diving into the back line. He has the ultimate available now. The Scar is taking up tower as he should be. Echo finds the Lulu ultimate. He's going to live a couple of seconds longer, but there's the dunk, and there he goes. Samira into the back line with the ultimate. She finds another 2 kills. There's another triple. Darius joins into the fun, too, with his own double. And that is going to be all she wrote. Warwick 1v9. If there's any time to turn this one around, to live up to that tag, it is right here, it is right now, but he's not even going to give it a try. He says, GG, well played, and they're going to accept their fate. 38 kills to 7. It was a nearly 20,000 gold lead. And even more of a domination than when they were playing against an AI in the top lane. The red squad is going to move on to our grand finals, best of 3.
And 20-minute victory from them. It was honestly just impressive. We have to say, though, that when a Samira gets 2 early kills like that, the laning phase gets super, super easy for her. And then they just took advantage of that entirely.
Oh, of course. You know, it's one thing to poke fun at the fact that, hey, they've lost even worse than an AI did. But you're absolutely right. That level 1 was beautifully thought out from the red squad. Not only, was it a good idea to attack the game, but if you actually go back and watch some of the VODs, not sure if they did or not, but that Warwick 1v9 always started in that red jungle, in the exact same spot, because King clears those wrappers so quickly. So it was a very intelligent invade from them. And you're right, you give Samira 2 kills, and things like that are just bound to happen, man. You throw on top of it the fact that top lane play was so close to going the Kane's way, but instead it turns into a double kill. You can almost sign off in the game right then and there. But, all in all, even if it was a little bit of cheese thrown in, the red squad's still definitely deserving of the win. They played incredibly well, and they're going to move on to our grand finals, which will be a best of 3. That one's going to be incredibly exciting to watch, and we're going to throw it to a break so we can get it ready to go. For all you fans, don't go anywhere. The grand finals coming up soon. You don't want to miss it.
O inglês une todas as culturas e transforma um mundo em um só. E faz parte da cultura inglesa trazer este mundo até você. Aprender inglês de verdade, de forma dinâmica e divertida, com aulas ao vivo pela internet, faz parte da cultura inglesa. Com os professores mais capacitados do mercado que te ajudarão a falar inglês desde a primeira aula. Ser a escola de inglês mais completa, com as melhores condições de pagamento, faz parte da cultura inglesa. O mundo faz parte da cultura inglesa.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Trevor Audio Goodrich and teacher Bruno, and it seems like I might have gotten a little bit ahead of myself. We're not in the grand finals match just yet. We do have one more semifinal to go through. I got excited and jumped the gun because I'm just that pumped up for our best of three. But we have one more game to go through yet, and I'm sure it's going to be an exciting one.
Oh, you definitely will, and I don't blame you for that, Trevor. When we get to see a pentakill from Samira, you can get really excited about it, right?
Yes, I mean, the red team will be moving on to the grand finals. We just won't be watching it quite yet because we still have to figure out who their opponent is going to be. And I mean, I don't feel good. I mean, I feel sorry for them, honestly, because anybody that has to go up against that Darius and that Samira is going to have a bit of a rough time, especially with us continuing with this blind pick format. You can't ban away those one tricks. But here we are in the champion select. And hey, we got our wish, Bruno. We're back to tournament draft.
Oh, that's great. Oh, okay. And are we seeing Warwick 1v9 most more? Are these the same teams?
Yes, so we do see Warwick 1v9. It looks like they're going up against another squad. And unfortunately for their opponents, it does seem like they are a man short. So I do believe this is I think this is the same team that we saw play earlier. I would have to get confirmation about that played with the Malphite bot in the top lane. But yeah, it's going to be Warwick 1v9 in his squad, this time playing draft. So he's going to get his Kayn banned away from him. The Samira as well is going to be the first ban for the red side. They don't want that to be first picked away from them.
And this changes the whole picture for the finals then, because then you're going to be able to ban the Darius just as we see it here, and that's great news for the opponents, right?
Yeah, and we still might get to see a rematch between Warwick 1v9 and basically a rematch of the game that we just saw. So that could definitely be exciting. As the final bans are coming through, though, it's Kayn, Echo, and Jhin for the blue side, the Samira, the Darius, and the Senna for the red side. A lot of the champions that they actually just played against, they want to make sure that never happens to them again.
Yeah, very smart from their side. They might even have some PTSD now, so yeah, that's the safe thing to do.
Yeah, and I am getting word that it actually seems like the blue team decided to go without a bot. They were given the option to just put an AI up there in the top lane, but I definitely think this is the correct choice because we saw what happens when your opponent essentially gets a free 300 gold every 30, 45 seconds in lane. We saw that match in day number 1, actually, where both teams decided to use a bot against each other in a top lane. But when it's just a bot versus a real player, it doesn't really seem fair.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. Now there's going to be a top laner free farming, so that it's also a concern, right?
Yeah, and this makes the picks a bit interesting too, because when you essentially know you're getting a free lane of farm, you could just get, a bit riskier with your picks. Something like the Kale could come out, or some of these other late game farming champions. I mean, hell, you might even want to throw a marksman up there now that you've got the Lulu on your side. We don't see a lot of tanks available. It's actually a pretty squishy composition so far, being hovered from the blue side. But some of those scaling options could be very well suited to a free lane.
You might even get to see a Vayne top lane. That would be interesting because she would just farm it away and once it gets to team fights, you would have a huge range free hitting
Yeah.
the
The
enemy
Vayne,
team.
we've seen the Nasus up there as well. We know this team, the Vygar could come through potentially. We saw Warwick 1v9 and Co. play against the Vygar last round, and that stacking was certainly effective against them. But well, I guess we'll just have to wait to see what their options are. They do have first pick on this second round, and I definitely think they should be picking up their top laner here because not only are you going to get that free lane, you're also going to get them counter pick in the mid lane. Actually, no, they already locked in the Silas, so it'll be the counter pick from ADC.
Yeah, with the Samira bend away, they decided to let their ADC as the last pick. Might be looking for something interesting here. Let's find out.
The set's going to be the grab up,
Set.
most likely up here in the top lane. So we'll get to see what the last pick for the blue team is. Oh, it's actually going to be a Fiora. This is so. It seems like they're going without a jungler here, Bruno, and I like this so much more than going without a top laner. It will be a bit of an adjustment, as you know, jungler isn't always used to playing in the top lane. It is a bit of a role swap, but at least you're not leaving an entire lane of minions of gold and XP to essentially just waste away.
And also, I'll be very curious to see what's the adaptation is going to be like in terms of warding. Are you going to start warding more of your own jungle rather than setting up vision in the river?
Yeah, you're going to have to be a bit more careful because you don't have a jungler to defend those easier routes. So watching out for dives or weird angles, or especially if these towers start falling, I think the game gets so much more dangerous without a jungler. Early on, it actually doesn't make too much of a difference. I mean, playing without a jungler and playing with just like a bad jungler, not saying that their jungler is bad, but theoretically in solo queue, if you're playing with a bad jungler or without a jungler, you don't notice too much of a difference. It's later on in the game when the towers start falling, when there's nobody there to, protect the inner paths of your map, that things really start getting scary. So if I were the blue team, they've got a lot of damage drafted for themselves. The Fiora, the Lucian, the Zoe. Just try to full blitz your opponents. Try to win the laning phase as hard as you possibly can, because that's the only time you're going to get these isolated matchups. Later on in the game, their opponents are just going to group up 5v4. You've got a numbers advantage. The game should be over.
The best case scenario for the blue team is that this Fiora gets ahead, and then she can start split pushing, so she will draw multiple members of the red team in her direction. Then you could even things out, right?
Yeah, I want to say, though, interestingly enough, Warwick 1v9 locked in the set. They did not swap. So it is going to be Raptor, actually, with the Shaco. And I don't know if this means that Warwick 1v9 is going to be going into the top lane or potentially anywhere other than the jungle. Or if this means just that he's playing the set in the jungle and maybe we get to see Shaco in the mid or top lane or something funky like that. But this is definitely interesting, and we'll have to see how it shakes out once we actually get onto the Rift.
It could be an AP Shaco.
I would love to see it. You know, especially if you're thinking about it against the Fiora, because that's where I would assume that AP Shaco would go. It does offer you a lot of range, a lot of poke, and kind of safety. There's no way for Fiora to easily trade back against the Shaco with all his mobility, range, and the boxes to deal with. So I actually think this could be a smart pick. However, it was not a counter. We have to remember that. The Shaco was picked first for the red team, and the Fiora was picked last. So this was not seeing the top lane opponent and thinking, oh, hey, Shaco would be good here. So that makes me think that, perhaps the Shaco is going jungle, and maybe Warwick 1v9 is actually role swapping.
That could be it, and also he would be playing a very different champion from what he's used to. The set, I mean, it offers you a lot of tankiness, but it has nothing to do with the style of play that Kane offers you.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly what happens. We can only speculate until we get out of the Rift and see exactly what these players decide to do. But this is the last chance for Warwick 1v9 in the squad to make it onto the finals, and it's in their favor. I think we should, anybody looking at this match 5v4 is going to say that the 5 is going to be favored in these matchups. So their game to lose, and I'm really just hoping for some sort of ingenuity. I don't want to see the blue team roll over and die, and they didn't last time. Even when they had their bot getting killed just over and over, they didn't roll over and die. They actually drug it out to 30 minutes and was able to close that gold lead by almost 5,000. So interesting. Definitely a matchup that I don't really know what's coming, and I don't get to say that very often. So that's fun.
Yeah, totally. And as I pointed out earlier, if you can have a pretty strong Fiora, having a split pusher like that can always draw a lot of attention towards that champion.
Yeah, I definitely can. If that Fiora cannot get ahead in the early game, though, it's going to be drawing attention in all the wrong ways. Because Fiora, she scales like an animal, but she's one of those champions that takes so long to actually get to that point. If you're good enough, you can mitigate that by just popping it off in the laning phase. But otherwise, you're stuck sitting and farming for just forever. And by that point, you're going to get out of the laning phase, and the numbers advantage is going to be really tough for the Fiora to deal with. It's even harder to play that split push style when you're 4v5.
Oh, yeah, of course. And not having the safety of your jungler backing you up in case of any possible 2v2s is also gonna be hard for yourself.
Definitely will. It's an uphill battle for sure for the blue team, but hey, it's all in fun's name, and there's still a shot for them to make it to the finals and get their revenge match up against that team. It's I gotta say, bro, it's very disorienting not having team names going into this. I'm totally wanting to identify the teams, and I know who I'm talking about, but I hope you and the rest of the audience knows who I'm talking about too.
Maybe it's easier. Yeah, maybe it's easier to refer to the team that's already in the finals as the Darius team because Brussels
Darius team. I like it. We're just going to start calling teams by whatever champion carried them the hardest. Would it have to be the Samira team, though? Because 25-1. Yeah, I think the Samira might actually be more deserving. And here, just as we thought, Warwick 1v9 in the top lane. It's going to be Raptor with jungling with the Shaco this time around. So much different style than we're used to.
Yeah, and that's a matchup that I'm not that well versed in. Fiora versus Sett. I think it would favor Fiora later on, but I'm not sure though.
Yeah, in my mind, the Sett is going to have the advantage. It comes down to how good Fiora is with her riposte. If she is able to use that to buffer the Facebreaker and block the CC and in return stun the Sett, then you're golden. There's nothing else for this Sett to do to interrupt you hitting your vital points. You can kite around him fairly easily, but if Sett is able to consistently get that CC off, then it's just free punches to the face, and there's not much Fiora can do about it. So a lot going to be riding on that one interaction. Meanwhile, though, in the mid lane, both mid laners level 1 tussling down to under half HP.
I would say that's smart from Silas. He opted for the fleet footwork, so he's going to have some sustain there. So looking for some early trades might be beneficial. Oh, just as I say that.
Level 2 came in. He got forced away from the wave, and that was just an XP diff. Good job by the Zoe there. Picks up first blood of the game.
And some aggression from Fiora.
Yeah,
Knight is down.
Knight getting popped down. She's ticking low, but she's not going to drop quite yet. She is going to go back to base. Has the TP available too, so won't lose too much off of that. But Warwick 1v9 is definitely asserting his dominance there at the top lane.
Yeah, and opting for the ignite, it's definitely showing that he's gonna look for kill pressure at all times.
Yeah, wants to be able to go in and actually, burst out that Fiora. Oh, great Sleepy Bubble Trouble there in the mid lane. Has to flash away. The flash follow, though. He picks up the flash and he gets out safely. It's another kill for the Zoe. Meanwhile, though, the binding is going to make sure that Lulu falls. That's 3 for 0 now for the blue team. Could turn into 4 as the Fiora has found the set. The Vitals aren't quite being procced yet. We'll see if she's able to finish that one off. It looks like Set was able to get out alive. But this is the aggression we were hoping for from the blue team. Caitlyn falls too as a flash forward from Menino. And we wanted them to get dirty, get aggressive in these first few minutes. 4 kills, under 4 minutes. We got exactly what we asked for.
And for a team that doesn't have a jungler, that's all you could have hoped for. Winning in every single lane, that's a dream.
It definitely is. And in the top lane, Fiora able to shove out the set. No teleport there for Warwick. So that's going to be the gold lead even up. Even a little bit into the favor of Fiora now, especially if she can crash this wave. But now is where the jungler starts to maybe matter, because Shaco, he's coming here to the top side. She doesn't know. Now pops out. There comes the ignite, but they missed the set face breaker. I don't think there's enough CC to continue this one. Shaco, actually, Fiora looking to turn this one around on him. One more auto attack. He's invisible. Can he find it? Has a lot of burst damage. There's the Q, and there's the damage. Double buffs over to Fiora. And Geverdier, he's doing to them the same thing that got done to them in the last game, is that top lane play gets turned around. Oh, and things are starting to look scary for the Red Squad. It's the 4-man group coming out clutch here in the first few minutes.
And this early lead that the blue team has got, it's solely based on mechanical prowess. I'm honestly impressed.
Yeah, me too, bro. As both those mid laners, they go at it again and walk away, just mirrored in health bars, both incredibly low. And now is where we really start to look at Shaco to turn the heat up. Your lanes are starting to fall behind. You know there's not going to be any opposition from the enemy jungler. We have to see him get aggressive. Here, he's looking for the gank. I think they spotted him out with that blue trinket. A good dodge there by the Lucian, but he still gets hit by the box. Slowed down. Can they find the last bit of damage? The Peacemaker lands, and the Shaco dagger is just not enough. He's left with single-digit HP, but he does walk away with his life.
And that's where, just like you said before, an executioner would come in handy, right? Having people walk away with single-digit HP is just annoying.
It's the worst feeling as a marksman, but oh my word, Zoe is able to find a kill in the mid lane. It's going to be turned around, though, as Shaco finally gets a kill on the board for himself. Looks like he is going for that full lethality build. He's definitely going to need some income to get that build going.
Fiora's level 6, might look for an all-in. Yep.
She's so low, though, and the level 6 also there from Warwick 1v9. Ignite as well. It's actually very dangerous for the Fiora to be sticking around here. She has the riposte coming up in a few seconds, but 200 HP and that Ignite ready to go. This looks like it might be the dive from Warwick. He finds the face breaker, and yeah, the ultimate. It's just too easy. Just a plain old mistake there by Fiora, sticking around way too long.
Yeah, that's the moment you have to recognize. You have to give up the wave, go back to base. You have already. I mean, you have stabilized as much as you could, despite getting ganked. Just go back to base and give the wave up.
Shaco, he shows up in the bottom lane. He's caught them off guard once again. Pops the clone, but he does get hit with the binding. I don't know which one's the real one myself. All right, he goes back to base. Oh, they find the kill, though. as Caitlyn has the range, he takes down the Lux, now 7-3. Despite being down 4 kills, the red team actually has a 2,000 gold lead here. And I honestly think that, I mean, that just comes from having an extra player, right? And being able to pick up the resources from the jungle. That shows you how important having a 5th member really is.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see that, but Zoe solo killed Silas once again. Huh?
And it's another kill coming through from the red squad. And I hate to say it, but despite their best efforts, it does seem like the numbers difference is starting to overwhelm the blue squad here. I was rooting for him, Bruno. But
yeah, they're gonna hope that this Zoe puts on her carry pants and start deleting people off the map. Maybe they get a chance.
I mean, it's always an option, right? There's not really any pure tanks on the red team, and even the set, who is going to be building some resistances, is going straight for that armor, that Bramble Vest to deal with Fiora. So that Zoe, especially already with the Lost Chapter and Blasting Rod in inventory, is going to be doing a significant amount of damage. If those paddle stars ring true, then you're right. Maybe we find an avenue where Zoe can take over. I still, as an ADC, have nightmares of the days Zoe was first released, and she could 100-0 me with 1 paddle star.
Not only that, but getting spells left and right in the middle of the team fights, it's just crazy to me.
Oh, yes, definitely. She's so mobile, but there in the top lane, woo! The challenge is thrown down, but for set, it's nothing more than a walk in the park. Zoe finds another kill in the mid lane, the jungler shows up, but he's not going to do much except lose half his health bar.
Silas is pretty far behind at this point. 0-5-1, down ECS. He's going to struggle trying to have an impact in the game.
Yeah, most of the squad is really struggling right here, except for, the bottom lane, really, has been kind of the one shining point for the blue team, or I'm sorry, rather, really everybody in the blue team is struggling other than the Zoe. Which is a very fun dynamic because we're going to see a lot of the attention put down onto that carry. Is in the top lane, it's 2 levels down, but it's Fiora winning out on this trade so far. Warwick puts a lot of damage back. One more auto attack might have done it. Warwick 1v9. He's now on a killing spree as he turns that one around.
What can't this man do? He plays jungle, he plays top lane. He's a real carry.
Well, Zoe is trying to show that she's still relevant in this conversation. She doesn't even need to throw out the Q, the E, nothing. It's just the extra passive from the flash, and then the ignite going down, and a couple of auto attacks raining fire. As Warwick 1v9 is continuing to push in this bottom lane. Herald's going to be popped. I don't think they even need it to actually get this tower. They're looking for Fiora here. Set is taking up the tower. He throws that shield down and survives. But can Fiora turn this one around? She does, to trade 1v1. But it's bought enough time for Zoe to show up. Herald is down to just about 1,000 HP, and the Shaco will run for the hills. He's looking for the trade around, actually. Can he get to the brush? That is so sneaky, Shaco. He makes the great escape.
What a magician. Just when Zoe thought, I got this flash here now, you're dead, man. Shaco just walks the other direction as if nothing ever happened.
And even with the trap placement, too, putting it towards the jungle to trick the Zoe into thinking that that's the way that he walked through. Truly a brilliant play. We'll see great flash over the chain. It means that Zoe keeps her distance. And you can tell that Silas, he wants that shutdown. He wants to get in and aggressive because he knows that if you don't get up in that Zoe's face, she's just going to keep poking you down.
And that's going to be a horrible matchup for the Silas. Oh my god, solo kill.
Wow.
As I was just saying, the ultimate from the Zoe that has no much use to you at all.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, getting a little bit of movement forward is like okay for the Silas. Maybe if you can land your chains, but you're right. I think it's probably the worst ultimate in the game that you could honestly get for the Silas. Now though, 3,000 gold up. This still isn't a lost ball game by any means for the blue squad. I mean, within 3,000 gold, having an 8-in-1 Zoe, Luden's Echo now completed, they're going to at least have a chance around these objective fights. And I think that's where we're going to figure out what the blue team, or rather what the Zoe is really made of. Because if she can control vision around these pits and get these pot shots into the river, into these choke points, one Zoe could honestly 1v9 this game.
Yeah, not a lot of people building any magic resistances in the red squad, so hitting a triple bubble and just one tapping someone's gonna go a huge way for the blue team.
Warwick, though, is just completely ignoring everything that's going on in the mid lane. He's doing his own thing as he finds a kill on the Fiora again. Zoe will come over to deal with him, and all the skill shots land. Warwick take a trip back to base, the expressway. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but that base is very nearly broken open in the top lane.
And Shaco might be looking for a dive here in the bottom lane. They have great ways to sharing the top of the turret aggro, so just as I say that, he decides not to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to the Lucian and the Lux for holding on to their tower for so long. It is going to be a 40 CS advantage over to the Caitlyn, but that's honestly expected in a game where you don't have a jungler. Not a lot of attention has been put in bot. It is impressive to me that they've been able to hold on to the structure. Oh my word! That is a nearly one shot coming through from the Zoe. They find the support. And although the Dragon goes over to the red team, the kills are still piling in for the blue squad.
Shaco is here. Nope. Doesn't get anything from it.
Finds a very big chunk of damage. Has the Trinity Force completed, actually. Not the lethality build we thought he was going. But he was able to take that Lucian down to about a quarter HP with that burst of damage. Now the question is to me, though, how quickly can Zoe put out fires? Because we've seen, obviously, the accuracy on this player with this champion is incredible. And she has enough damage to 100-0 almost any player on this team. But you can see just running back and forth. 15 minutes in, only 91 CS. Because Zoe is just rubber banding across this map, trying to deal with these members, pushing in these waves, taking out these structures. They're going to be looking for the 1v3 out of the set, but he still trades one back. Zoe picks up the kill. But again, while that's happening, there's another tower going down in the mid lane. So Zoe can only be in so many places at once, as much as it feels like she can just go everywhere. So we'll see how much she's able to do another big chunk of damage onto the jungler.
Yeah, she had the Ignite on. Don't know why she decided not to use it. But still, she's
she was actually
one-on-one.
so she did not have vision there.
Okay, yeah.
So that was actually a good play from the Shaco. You know, Shaco went into stealth when he got hit, or when he went to sleep. Zoe still sees the animation to know where the target is, but doesn't actually reveal them. Fun fact. Until Riot decides to change that, because they like to make reveals popular this season. I think Akali got one, and Ari got one as well.
Oh,
good sleep.
one
Trouble
shot.
landed on the ABC, and that's only 100 HP left on the marksman. Flash away from the support as well. Man, maybe Bruno, maybe this Zoe can actually carry this game for her squad. I'm blown away by how accurate she has been. But right now, she's in a world of hurt. Pops a stopwatch, and her allies are racing forward to try to buy her some time. Was that another stopwatch? No, that was a shutdown. Shaco gonna find the kill. Only the second death of the game, and now the red team. The raid boss is down, and they are pushing every advantage they can get. They find a second, and they are hightailing it out of there. 2 quick kills for the red team.
Yeah, and I'm impressed that the blue team is still trying to take some turrets here. Fiora might get one in the bottom lane, just as I say that Lucian might die. Yeah,
He was oh so close to getting that kill onto the Silas, that last second heal coming in clutch. But, it's deceptive. Every time I look up at the scoreboard, we've had this Zoe just running rampage throughout the entire game, 15 kills to 12. But it is still a 6,000 gold lead for the red team. We cannot forget that. Now in the top lane, the set has Herald, and that kind of means that Zoe has to stay tethered to him for now. Run him down so he can't pop that one, but he's going to turn this one around. He uses the ultimate. Stopwatch used again. And now she's chasing. The Paddle Star is going to end, and that's enough damage to take him out.
yeah, great play from the Zoe. Had to burn the flash though, so gonna have to play a lot safer for the next few minutes and see what she manages to accomplish from a safe distance.
That stopwatch has already saved her life a couple of times, but you're right. The summoner spell's being gone now. Has to play a lot more loose, but can he really afford to? I mean, does the Zoe? If the Zoe's not making plays right now, nobody on the blue team is. So if I'm her, I almost feel like I can't play safe right now.
That's true. Yeah. Um, and that's what she's doing, trying to go for some aggression to the Silas, who just walks away, and that's it.
Does at least have the flash picked up from the ground to offer a little bit of safety while her own is down. Good chunk of damage brings Silas down to half HP. We do see now some semblance of mag resistance starting to come through from players. We got Merc Treads coming through for the set. So working on not getting one shot, but the rest of the team is just pretty much cannon fodder for the Zoe. Here comes the Shaco. He's going to pop down the box and use the ultimate here as Fiora flashes to take down the Caitlyn over the trap, but he steps on the second one. And in the mid lane, it's the Silas falling as Caitlyn did go down there and bot. And it is going to end up being a 2-0 in favor of the blue team. Meanwhile, though, Set, he still has that Herald and he's pushing in that top lane. Warwick 1v9 has one mission, and it is to break down this base, end this game from the top lane. He's already taken down the inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor is going to follow. Can he get out alive, though? He's 1v2, and Zoe is here. He's stunned up. He takes a Paddle Star to the face, put the ultimate into the back line, and there's already one kill with the Ignite. He still has the Haymaker available, but he goes to sleep and can't use it. What a play from the Zoe.
Oh my god, this Zoe is so goddamn clean.
Where has this Zoe been all day long, man? We saw a blind pick earlier today from the same team, and this champion did not come out. I am flabbergasted.
Yeah, and it's just incredible how can the blue team put up a fight being a player down this whole time. It's just beyond me.
Yeah, I mean, the logical thing to do, right, would be for the entire team to just group up and 5-man push down mid. Have the Set block these shots from the Zoe because he is the only one on the team with MR. Meanwhile, though, we do have a fight going on. We'll break that down later because red team has to hightail out of here after grabbing that dragon. Silas, though, he finds a kill, and they're into the back line. Zoe doing what she can to put up the yes. She's already taken one, and the health bars are so low. A double kill for the Zoe, and there's just one red member left standing. Caitlyn, she's gonna blast home, but she still gets tagged by that by that Paddle Star. This Zoe just cannot miss, but the Caitlyn will get out safely. Thanks to team members blocking those shots, Warwick, he could be in trouble though. The culling bringing him down to just a few hundred HP. Besides the bob and weave back towards, but it is going to be two members getting out of there closely. Soul point, though, Mountain Soul for the red team. Oh no, Warwick 190 goes back in. Can he get the kill? No, he can't. That was close, but he ends up trading his life away for nothing.
Yeah, the Mountain Soul is going to be crucial in offering more resistances were trying to survive the one shots coming from Zoe. And I thought she might go for the Ramadan, but she decides not to go for it.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it does make sense in my mind. You've got that theology in League of Legends that when you are ahead, it's always better to buy more defense, and when you are behind, it's always better to buy more damage. Obviously, that's so wow. I was going to say that's very situational. And as you can see, the Zoe has plenty of damage. She's so far up in levels, level 15 to, 14? The highest on the set, but 13 is the next highest on the squad. I believe it was the 11 for the Lulu. So 4 levels up. You don't really need the Rabadons, because you still do stuff like that.
Yeah, working some magic here. Fiora though.
And Fiora has so much damage, but the Lux is coming through clutch. They're trying to make their way onto the Zoe. They've gotten in there, down to a few hundred HP, and there's the shutdown. Finally, the red squad can breathe a sigh of relief and start to push up here. Lux does find a kill as well. And again, Warwick 1v9, he's continuing on his path to split pushing. He takes down another tower. Lucian, wasting that dash, goes right into his waiting arms. Warwick 1v9 all too happy to pick up that kill. As they've got a massive numbers advantage here, the red team is looking to truly open the base. We've seen 15 seconds on the Zoe, and that's really the soonest that the blue squad can actually compete here. Warwick flashes forward. He grabs the Lux. She flashes away. A great bind gets him under time, and that is going to mean that he falls. It's going to be in trade of a tier 2 tower, but the blue team will definitely take that one any day of the week.
Trevor, how often do you see a team who has been playing 4v5 the entire game be this up in kills, 26 to 17?
I'll tell you exactly how often, Bruno. 0. Never, zip, nada, because I haven't even gotten the pleasure, outside of Cultura Inglesa, of course, because there's no rules here, to cast a 4v5 League of Legends game. This just blows my mind that the blue team is keeping this one competitive. I could not have asked for a better storyline.
Yeah, that's just, as you said before, I'm also flabbergasted that they're doing something spectacular here.
This kind of shenanigans is only possible at Cultura Inglesa, where students get the best homework assignments on the planet. And I mean, if my homework was to just go into a League of Legends game as Zoe and just dumpster kids for 25 minutes, I would be over the moon. You could see me signing up for every extra credit assignment possible. And she's doing it again. 1v3 in this jungle almost takes out the Lulu. The red team, it honestly feels like they are just playing against this Zoe right now. Like they've forgotten about the rest of the game. Warwick 1v9 is the only person being like, hey guys, let's take towers, let's take objectives. Everyone else just like, let's get that Zoe.
Yep.
And they can't. He can't do it.
This is one of those games where you look at the damage chart at the end of the game, you're like, how is that even possible?
I really hope we get to see the damage chart at the end of the game because it has got to be so astronomically large for the Zoe. Oh, he tries to go in for the steal, Silas, but he doesn't have the damage fast enough. Lucian's going to get that kill, say thanks for your generous donation, and they're going to deny the Mountain Soul, which is so crucial for this team because not only is that resistance is going to very help against the Zoe, but even just that shield. Getting that out-of-combat shield to protect from the poke from the Zoe, I mean, essentially, you get that shield, she hits you with that poke, and 15 seconds later, it comes right back. It is the best soul in the game against a fed Zoe. So delaying that for another 5 minutes means that the blue team has that much more of a chance here.
Yeah, and the red team's definitely going to need that. The Zoe is almost hitting full build point here.
Yeah, and now the rest of the team too is starting to catch up. We get the Kraken Slayer for the Lucian. Fiora as well is on her second item, has the Triforce working towards that third. We talked about how good she was in the late game once she scaled up, but how hard it was going to be to get there. We're approaching on that, Bruno. 27, 28 minutes in now. I would say, around the 30 to 35 minute mark is when these players are really going to start having some damage. And if the red team don't group up and take out Zoe, we might be looking at a comeback on our hands, but it's a 1v2 for the set. I don't think he's going anywhere. He can't even trade one back. The Ignite ticks down. Maybe the shield is there to keep her safe, and Lux will survive.
Now, I gotta ask you, Trevor, at what point do you start believing?
Oh, I start believing once the Zoe hits 15-3. We are on the comeback train, Bruno. I want to see it. I mean, the gold lead is manageable. I always like to say the 10,000 gold point is kind of that marker for me where I'm like, maybe you can't come back. We're within those parameters, and all of that gold funneled into the Zoe and the Lux. Here's another fight. This is going to be a big one and a kill. Already going down for the blue team. They're starting to run away with this one. Fiora, she lives long enough to take down 3. And that is a 3-for-1. It is numbers advantage for the blue squad. And the Caitlyn and the Lulu running for the hills. The ADC will be the sacrificial pawn. But Lux is not going to let him get away that easily. The fadeaway to pick up the 4th. And just Warwick 1v9 left alive there. That was nearly the ace for the blue team, and they're a man down.
Man, I almost can't believe what I'm seeing. How is this even possible? It's just unbelievable.
What's the most unbelievable to me is we are now just starting to see magic resist being built by these players. You've got the stone plate for the set, which is going to give him the 60 MR. But we've just see the Merc Treads on the Lulu, on the Silas. Silas actually selling his Sorcerer Shoes to buy those Merc Treads. And then an Electron Cloak in the inventory for the Lulu. Nothing on the Kinglet, nothing on the Shaco. I mean, up against a team where up until, maybe 5 minutes ago, all the gold was packed into just this Zoe. It blows my mind that we are now seeing Magic Resist being built 30 minutes into the game.
And at this point, should the red team start feeling a little bit desperate?
They absolutely should. If they cannot kill this Zoe, this is going to be probably the best chance they've had for a while, though. Down to half HP, already blown the stopwatch. He's got the flash, though. He's looking for it. There's the shutdown. 500 gold in his pockets. And now the red team can really start to look to get aggressive. They're heading for that Baron. Meanwhile, Fiora is split push ready now. She's level 16 and she's dangerous. She's going to take those towers incredibly fast. And she's already on to the inhibitor turret. The red team has to pick this one up quickly. But to speak to your point, Bruno, I definitely think the red team has to be desperate. And I think that was a desperate play right there. Blast coning in and just dumping everything onto that Zoe. It worked out for them this time, but if they cannot do that consistently in these fights, it's going to be very hard for them to close this one out. We'll see if Fiora now can get out of this sticky situation. And it does seem like the stopwatch is going to buy enough time, and she's going to smartly recall. The next dragon here is spawning in just a few seconds. This is a Mountain Soul. If the red team pick this one up, it might be enough to actually buy them back into this game.
Yeah, Zoe's trying to get here. I don't think she will get here in time. Maybe hope for a Hail Mary from the left.
Yeah, this is actually a huge back timing mistake from the blue squad. Half their team went back to base, and that means the red team gets this for free, and they dive in for a kill on the back of it too. Now we 5v3 to stare down. And the red team, they've got the Mountain Soul, and they're wearing their purple cape. Set's going to lead the charge. Grab that Drowsy, but he QSS it right away. The Zoe is down, and that might be the last hope gone with her for the blue team. It's going to be a full blitz down the mid lane. This is what we've been asking for all game long. Just overwhelm them with pure numbers. And Warwick, he's charging in. He finds one, but there's the stopwatch from the Lucian. the red team, they've taken down the tower, and there's nothing left from stopping them from just rampaging through the base. The set, he's buffed up and he's ready to go. The Fiora is going to fall to the Ignite, and there's the ace. 1 second for the Lux, but it would be a hell of a miracle to try to stall this one out. The ult doesn't even clear out the minions, and that means that your red team now will be moving on to the grand finals to find a rematch against the Samira team, rather, as we have dubbed them.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite their valiant efforts, it wasn't enough for the Zoe to carry her team, and all we gotta do now is give her as much praise as we can, right?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean I gotta give probably more respect to this. Let's talk a little bit about this player and this team specifically, because we now see 2 games in a row where a player down, these guys are not only able to make it competitive, but now almost win it all. In their first game, they had the Malphite bot top. And Darius essentially got 4 free kills at the beginning of the game. He was just snowballed out of his mind. They still took it to 30 minutes. Now here in this game, 4v5, the Zoe pulls almost 20 bomb, and they almost win the whole thing. So honestly, I have to say, no matter what the results of today are, Zoe team, you are winners in my book. You are my favorite team that I got to watch here today, this weekend, these last 2 weeks. You take home the caster appreciation trophy.
Yes, and they have got to go home now with the greatest feeling possible. You've done everything you could. You actually done more than you could to win, and it must feel great, even though you lost.
Yeah, but of course we are going to have just one series left, and this one's going to be best of 3. Bruno, gone are the best of 1s where those level 1 cheeses can decide a lot. We're going to go straight into the draft pick. We are going back to blind pick. So this is going to mean lots of one-trick champions coming out, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Oh man, do you see what I'm saying?
Darius
1v9
really
has locked in the Darius. Please give me the mirror matchup. Come on.
Oh, that should be so fun.
Don't let me down. Brunessis, don't let me down here. You have to pick your signature champ. It's blind pick.
Okay.
Yes! We did it!
Let's go, baby.
We're going to get the mirror matchup. Now, this should definitely be very interesting because Warwick 1v9 honestly had a very good game last time. We were questionable on if his top lane was going to look okay, but he definitely surprised me up against that Fiora. So I don't put it past him to be able to play the Darius. Is it going to be good enough to take down the Darius? One trick, though, that's the question.
And if it does, though, that's going to give you a huge advantage. Beating the Darius at his own game, ooh, man, that's going to hurt.
And this is honestly, when I'm thinking about this matchup as a whole, the fact that, the red team, they've already lost this matchup once, and it was to this same exact comp, top to bottom. The blue team have played this team every one of their games here today and won every single one pretty single-handedly, I'd like to say. But Warwick 1v9, I think it's fair to say, is probably the red team's best player, or at least has most consistently showed up. So swapping him from the jungle to the top lane, we saw him try to attack the top lane as a jungler, didn't work out. Maybe now he's saying, okay, I think I'm good enough to just beat this guy in lane. I don't think my teammates can do it, so I'm going to take it into my own hands.
Yeah, and man, I'll be cheering for him. I'm always for the BM, and what's a bigger BM than beating one trick with his own champion?
Oh, there is none. That is the most satisfying feeling ever, and it's a devastating one for the opponents, especially in a mirror matchup, too. Like, it's one thing if, like, hey, I took your Darius away and I beat you with it, but if it's a mirror matchup, both players are all in, there's no excuses, and one of them gets to walk away with some serious bragging rights. We're going to wait for the spectator delay to wind down, though. A short break while we wait for these players to get out to Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere. This is the matchup you've been waiting to see.
O inglês une todas as culturas e transforma um mundo em um só. E faz parte da cultura inglesa trazer este mundo até você. Aprender inglês de verdade, de forma dinâmica e divertida, com aulas ao vivo pela internet, faz parte da cultura inglesa. Com os professores mais capacitados do mercado, que te ajudarão a falar inglês desde a primeira aula. Ser a escola de inglês mais completa, com as melhores condições de pagamento, faz parte da cultura inglesa. O mundo faz parte da cultura inglesa.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Trevor Audio Goodrich, and it's teacher Bruno joining you for this grand finals matchup we have in front of us for real this time. I'm not pulling your leg. We get to see. I mean, this is just going to be great. So the last matchup that we have here, unfortunately, for our 2-week journey together, but Warwick 1v9 and his squad going up against Brunessis, who has, I guess, or you could say this is Ori-san and squad. But nonetheless, this is the team that they lost to earlier today, the same exact comp, rather. But this time we get to see not only the role swap, but they've got the level 1 prepared. They're ready for this invade, Bruno! They've got the starter, there's the stun! And the plays come through. This team is playing 5D chess with their opponents, and they're in their heads. The flash away from the Vigar. Are they going to chase him down? No, they'll let him walk away in shame.
Oh, that's the best thing to see. The adaptation, learning from your earlier mistakes, and taking advantage of that in this game right here.
And adaptation is everything that this team has going for them right now, right? They swapped their jungler, their best player, up to the top lane, gave him the mirror matchup, and here we get to see our first scuffle. 1v1 Darius, round 1 fight. Bruness does get the first auto attack. And with the Conqueror, that means that he should actually win this fight. One more will do it! He gets it! Brunessis styles on his opponent in the mirror matchup. There's no coming back from that.
And the Brunessis team knows their teams, don't they?
This is exactly everything I hoped for and so much more, Bruno. 2 minutes in and we've already seen such a crazy fight. Wait, how did, it was Brunessis that won that. I read that play completely wrong. Oh, man. I just saw 2 Dariuses, and I got excited, Bruno. I was misinformed. It was Brunessis that walks away with the better play there. And that is, I mean, that's very good for him. To defend his signature champ and get the edge in that mirror matchup. They needed that after the level 1.
And not only that, but Warwick did not take teleport, so he's already behind in terms of the wave. And it's going to get scary for him.
Yeah, and I want to take a quick step back because I am getting very excited. Oh, I'll have to wait, though. These players are not going to let me as Warwick wants to go in for round 2. Can he get it? No, the auto attack battle goes again to Brunessis. That's 2-0 for him. And looking at this matchup now, right, which obviously it's going to be harder for Warwick just because he's in a mirror matchup and he's starting at a disadvantage. But I'm honestly not feeling that he knows how to play this Darius as well as Brunessis. If we look back at that level 1, I think there was a crucial mistake that Warwick made, and that was starting with his Q. You actually really want to start W on the Darius because you get the auto attack reset, and your auto attack will apply not only a stack of Hemorrhage, but as well as a Conqueror stack. And that's honestly the big difference that Brunessis is making here in this lane. He's getting in 1 extra auto every single time, which is getting him those stacks up, but now he's looking for the 1v2. Flash forward from Warwick to try to follow, but Brunessis has the Conqueror stacked up, and he turns it around for the double kill again. We've seen this story so many times, but it's running on repeat.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, this is just tilt coming out of Warwick 1v9. He had already used his Q, flushed in anyway, and just gave up an easy double kill for Brunessis.
Yeah, he definitely does. Didn't quite land on that Q. Now here in the bot lane, we see Samira and Leona going in. Braum, though, is so good at stopping these engages in their tracks, and it's actually, ADC's trading pretty evenly on health. However, the misfortune is completely out of mana. Warwick now on this top side. He has... Buddy, come on. You have the health advantage, but he's 2 levels down. And that lane is turning from bad to worse as Warwick will not let that lane go. He keeps going forward now. Leona, she's going to get stunned up, and she's pretty tanky, though. That aftershock coming in clutch. She's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and Brunessa's got to be feeling extremely good about himself now. Just getting to beat the guy who just sort of disrespected him, picking his champion, and yeah, that's got to be the best feeling in the world.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Bruno. This feels like disrespect coming out from Warwick. As good of a player as we know he can be, he's never been one to temper his aggression. There's 1v9 in his name for a reason, and he pushes those limits any chance he gets. But in situations like this, when there is a time to be more passive and a time to just sit there and get pushed under tower, that's not something junglers are as attuned to. Knowing when you've lost the lane and have to play a bit safe. Junglers, I mean, you're always fighting the monsters. You're never really at a disadvantage in those 1v1s. But he keeps just running in. Now he's 20 CS down, and he's getting frozen against. One of the worst things to happen in this top lane, this extra long lane, is falling behind in the wave manipulation.
Yeah, and he might get killed here again. Level 6.
Yeah. There's a really big minion wave, but you're right, that level 6 has already come through. And there's so many more minions for Brunessus to pick up. Now here comes Echo to try to break the freeze. I like this from the junglers to at least get Warwick a reset here. But he backs off before they can even crash the wave, and Brunessus is going to continue to freeze this one. Now his jungler is coming up, and look at that wave. Still perfectly frozen right outside the turret. Remember, Brunessus actually does clear it out, so he's going to let the reset come through.
Yeah, and look at the item choice from Brunessus. Really aggressive. Again, opting for the earlier healing reduction. In this instance, it might actually be a good choice, right, as you're facing Darius.
Yeah, actually both sides of the matchup opted for the early executioners, as Warwick has picked one up as well. The difference being that component of the Triforce. Don't know the name off the top of my head, but in the inventory, Brunessus is going to give him a bit more damage, a bit more attack speed. Much useful in that 1v1. And now the question is, where can the blue team go, or red team rather, do to make up for this? And it looks like it's the bottom lane. They're trying to make a play happen. Leona is very low, and that kill will be gifted with a little bit of a bow over to PV Camp 2000. His first kill of the game with a serrated dirk in hand.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a mistake from the Leona. You had no information about the Shaco, and you still went in. You shouldn't do that, right?
Yeah, it's the level 6 advantage for Skarner, though, and he uses it to just walk in and sneak away that scuttle out from the Shaco's nose. Warwick is now doing a lot better at knowing his place in that lane. He's going to be sitting under turret, although losing half his HP for it. His Orihane is looking for some aggression here. He's going to pop the ult, but Echo just takes a little bit of that damage. Dragon's going to be started up by the red team. No teleports available for either top laner. Warwick actually running with that ghost, so that's going to be an objective. Going over pretty cleanly as Echo looks for the play over the wall, but he doesn't have enough time to pop the ultimate. He's going to go down as Vigar falls as well. It was very low HP. Cat and the Samira looking to make something happen, but the ultimate does so much damage. Ori is going to find that kill, the Ignite ticking away, but the heal is going to save him just in time. Leona finds a Zenith Blade right into the waiting arms of the Skarner. The box will buy a brief moment of relief, but the kill will go through. Is now, oh man, PV Camp finds the final member trying to slink away and grab that Spire. Wow, that was some crazy action to come through, and woo, Brunessus is going to top it all off with a clean kill and escape in the top lane.
Yeah, when you think things are all doom and gloom for the red team, you look at the misfortune and you see a 3-0-1 scoreline, and you think, well, they could do something about it with it.
And that's going to be the hope. My only worry is, my only worry right now is for Bruness, as he's low on mana, no ultimate available. He's looking for the escape here, but Baski's, he's got the phase rush, he's got the movement speed, and he's got the shutdown. 950 gold into his pocket. And this is something we saw from Brunessis a couple times last game around, is where he got this huge lead, but he was way too aggressive with it, and he gave over a lot of shutdowns. That was how his opponents, even 4v5, were able to stall out the game so long.
Yeah, a little bit greedy from Brunessis. Gave a huge shutdown for the Echo, who might get killed here.
Has the ultimate available if he chooses so. As Warwick 1v9, he's decided he's had enough of the top lane, but the mid lane's not faring him much better. Oh no! He goes down to the Vygar, takes an ultimate ignite to the face. Meanwhile, Echo, he has used that ultimate, and he is running starter on a wild goose chase. This is like straight out of a Scooby-Doo movie, but the bad guy will be caught, and now they're chasing for a little bit extra. As Shaco is going to go invisible and make it out of that one, but that ring around the rosy was so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, Trevor with the boomer references. Do you know where all this knows what Scooby-Doo even is?
I grew up watching Scooby-Doo, Bruno. That was Saturday morning prime time in my childhood. I watched all the classics. I actually, a little bit of a tangent, but one of my best friends way back in 3rd grade, give a shout out to Catherine Dykstra. We were both obsessed with Scooby-Doo so much that we'd get together every single day after school and just watch reruns for hours. We played Scooby-Doo video games, had lunch boxes, the whole 9 yards. That is definitely not out of my generation. Brunessis, though, he's teaching these old dogs a couple of new tricks as he picks up a double kill onto both the jungler and Warwick.
Yeah, and MF is looking at the top side of the map and just thinking to herself, what the heck am I supposed to do with this Darius? I don't know.
Oh, I've been there so many times before where you're just like, top lane, just don't die. Please, just stop dying. We're winning lane, just stop dying. And it's just, an ally has been slain. Ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. And it's just hard. Because as an ADC, there's not much you can do, right? It's not like a Darius being super fed where you can very much go 1v9 your opponents. Misfortune has to be safe at all points of the game, because even that 0-1 Samira or that 1-1 Vygar can one-shot you if you're not looking too close.
Yeah, so she's gonna have to heavily rely on the Brown to protect her, and that's gonna be scary because Darius might just collect some free stacks onto the Brown, ult him, and then get an easy kill onto the MF later.
Yeah, that is the goal. Thankfully, Braum, incredibly effective at peeling for marksmen. The shield and the damage reduction it provides, not to mention the slows, the CC, and just the flat armor and magic resist he gets from his target. You can see already in inventory, it looks like he's working towards that Knight's Vow. So, I mean, we're going to have a lot of options to keep that Misfortune safe, but, I mean, it's a tall task against a 9-in-1 Darius with that gap closing item.
Yeah, and Leona might look for
up, though. Just be careful. It's Misfortune getting very aggressive. That was a bit spooky for the marksman, but now the dragon is spawning, and that means everybody's gonna get a little bit of elemental fever as they crowd into this choke point. The starter, though, he's going straight in. He's behind enemy lines. The Braum doing what he can to protect. But the Misfortune is isolated in a 1v1. She doesn't even have enough damage to really do anything against the Skarner. Leona gets isolated from her marksman and will fall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, I mean, it's business as usual for Brunessis as he is on a rampage now, 10-1. The Samira will not survive as Shaco finds her over the wall, and Misfortune will eventually fall in that very long, drawn-out engagement. Oh, this is beautiful from the Shaco. He's able to get behind them unnoticed. But now what does he do with it? Can he get out? Maybe this isn't exactly where he wants to be as he puts it on the box. He finds the fear onto Vigar. And this madman, this master of illusion, of trickiness, can he get out once again? He is just playing with it. So at this point, he's buying as much time as he can, and it might be enough. The QSS, but the pull comes through. The shutdown going to go on to Bernesi. Almost gets more, but thankfully Warwick 1v9 stops him in his tracks.
Yeah, he gets 800 gold into his pocket. Don't know if that's gonna do much when your counterpart is 11-0, but at least it's something, right?
Congratulations! Now you're only down by 3,200 gold instead of 4 grand. But it is still at least a full items difference. I mean, just look at the inventory. I'm not sure if if Warwick 1v9 rather has gone back to base to spend, but that is not even 1 item completed, and it is 2.5 for Brunesis. An 800 gold shutdown is not going to make up for that gap, and not much is going to do anything for Biscetti either, as he is on the wrong end of the baby cage and doesn't even get a chance to use that ult.
And I think the Echo is sort of regretting his summoner's choice at this point. The camera panned out to the mid lane a couple of times, and we saw Vigar getting out with pretty low HP numbers. I believe that if Echo had gone for the Ignite, he might have gotten a two or more kills in the laning phase.
Yeah, or even Cleanse, right, would have been a godsend. I've been a bit disappointed in the team's unwillingness to take things like Cleanse or build things like QSS, because especially up against the Skarner, we call it a Skarner tax for a reason. It's one of the quintessential rules of League of Legends, right up there with Don't Chase Singe, is you have to buy QSS against Skarner. But right now, Bat Carrot, it's not where you want to be. Flash over the wall. He does get out safely. Kudos to him for that. And here comes the man of the hour, the one we've been talking about, Skarner Theorante. He's looking to protect his enemies, or his allies rather. It'd be a big meat shield to soak up those bullets. He does get the Leona and the Smear out safely. Can they collapse here on the Shaco? They do find him a little bit here in the squad. The flash forward, and there's the ultimate. But Braum is doing what he can. Great wind wall from the Samira to just completely stop that bullet time in its tracks. But still the kills coming through. Misfortune is packing quite a punch with those auto attacks. And a 700 gold shutdown off of that Skarner, actually, is going to go into her pocket. Now Brunesis, what can he do? 1v2 up in the top lane. Red team, smartly, they're kiting around. They're trying not to give him that ult. Echo, no ultimate available. He's just going to straight go down here in the fear, and there's the double kill. Brunesis never seems to disappoint. He's going to pick up some more kills. The Shaco, can he actually get this one shot off before this ultimate comes through? There he is! No, he doesn't get the 4th, though, and that does have the damage. And another shutdown. Now 6-2. And Bruno, we sort of have to ask the questions. Maybe the Misfortune has 8 less kills, but with all these shutdowns, could she be a carry to match Brunesis?
Yeah, the situation is not all that dire anymore for the red team. Braum is doing a great job at keeping MF safe, and with the shutdowns that she has been collecting, she might do some real damage in team fights.
Yeah. I mean, it's, we do, unfortunately, when we look at the enemy team, we see the wonderful champion design, courtesy of Riot, of Samira, who basically gets a 360-degree wind wall to just shut down that ultimate. So we do have to be very careful Camp does of where he's placing those ults. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Just auto attacks and Qs should have the damage to really start to turn this one around. Now the red team might have found a pick. Great Solar Flare is going to slow them down, but it doesn't look like they're much deterred. They're really chasing for these kills. Leona, though, is so tanky. They won't be able to finish her off quite there.
Yeah, and I as you pointed out before, I think the MF has to buy a QSS soon.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look at what they're just doing to them there in the mid lane. And you can see all the control, the CC, the baby cage, the Skarner ultimate, even the Leona. There's just so many sources where if I see one of those champions on the enemy team, I'm thinking, okay, it's a QSS angle. But with all three, it is definitely hindering the red team to not have those in inventory. And right now, the blue squad can do anything they please. Leona does fall, unfortunately, to a coward. But they will eventually take that one down.
He takes everything there and even got a kill onto the Leona.
Yeah, I mean, that one felt a little bit more like a mistake from the blue team to me, as this one is too. They're able to punish a couple of these members for staying around too long and being too aggressive. Speaking of punish, though, can Bruness catch here? He gets the phage proc, he's going to catch up. And he gets the pullback. This could be all he needs. 2 levels up with the flash over the wall. Alright, he's going to be safe. Brunessus doesn't want to commit the flash. Follow into Duncan. He is getting caught out. And that shielding coming through from the Immortal Shield Bow. Or no, is that the Immortal Shield Bow? Or just have that Eclipse, actually? Man, that item. I'm telling you.
It's broken. It's totally broken.
It's broken indeed. Oh, Brunessus, this is not where you want to be, buddy! And that's a big shutdown going over to Miss Fortune's pockets, and that could be the go button that the red team has been looking for. Big solar flare going to find a couple members, but some Mira in the back line. She does some damage, but it's just not enough. Only last remaining member is the Skarner. He's able to trade just one back to the Jungler. That's an important member to take off the table. Now they have to find this kill, or at least a couple of towers to make this one worth it. The Vigar is now coming up to provide some backup, but immediately he is found and shut down by the Echo. The Skarner, though, finds a double kill? What? Bruno, what's going on here? I thought this guy was supposed to be a front line, not just a 1v9 carry. Ferrante, calm down!
He has a Titanic Hydra! He's beating them up!
Battle Scar, somewhere Captain Flowers just got a rush of adrenaline. Yeah. He has no clue why, but he is just so excited just because this Skarner just pulled off the Chad play of a lifetime. 1v5. I'm going to say 1v5 because the Vigar offered no value to that fight. He defends the tier 2 and gets 3 kills.
Someone clip that and send it to Captain Flowers. He's gonna
go for more. This is just straight up BM. If he steals this away, okay. The Shaken will at least get his red buff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Twitch chat rather. Don't let me down. Make sure you clip that one. Post that to Reddit. I want to see it on the front page by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right. Oh man, this guy won't stop. He just keeps going. I mean, there's so much damage in the red team, but it doesn't matter if they can't do anything to this brick wall of a Skarner. The Echo does find some good juice. He's going to get back over the wall, and no flash available. Actually, the Skarner had the flash, but he didn't know what he was getting himself into. Blue team looking poised to try to push into the base right now.
And what a roller coaster of a game. Just when you thought that the red team had controlled the game, look at this.
Oh. Misfortune caught out in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that could be very detrimental. That's the big damage dealer on this squad, and now 30 seconds on the clock. Blue team has plenty of time to work with to move into this phase, dominating those Skarner, and even Leona pitching in on some of the fun, picking up a kill onto Echo. Darius v Darius in the bot lane, but we've already seen how that matchup works out about 14 times to be precise. But it does seem like the blue team is going to back off here. Leona taking up that tower. Darius might do what he can to try to take this or get some gold back. He finds some damage onto a couple of the members, but no ultimate's going to be committed. The Shaco does find a kill onto Leona. Is it going to be enough though? There's the kill in return as Brunessus shuts that one down before it really gets off the ground. Vigar taking a single tower shot, but has to flash away in fear of it more. Flash forward from the Skarner. He's looking for the Misfortune, but he doesn't quite find her. Darius does. and that's going to be the kill coming through. Once again, 35 seconds in the death chamber. As blue team, they're low health bars, but they have no fear. Towers, enemies, it doesn't matter. They'll take them all on. But after hubris been a little bit too much, the Skarner does fall. But they're able to pick up a couple kills in the backhand. Ace for the blue team, and it's costly. But it does come through.
The red team has to stay together. We see that once they're fighting together, the EMF can literally carry the whole team fight. But they're getting picked apart by this Skarner, and that's what's completely making them lose the game.
Absolutely, and that was just a pure display of supreme talent. I know Kiana's not even in this game, but to just walk into the enemy base, kill the ADC twice in a row, the most fed member, 7, 4, and 7, without even having to reset, taking down the inhibitor. Yes, they all fell, but they essentially killed the entire enemy team twice. That is just a straight-up power move to say, your base does not scare us. We can be in there if we want to. And now 7,000 gold up. This one is looking all but wrapped up. Brunessis on a rampage as he finds the ADC once again. This has a heat-seeking missile locked onto the ADC. Samira is popping off, doing tons of damage. One kill does go over, shut down, but there is just too many fed members. A double kill for the Samira, make that a triple, and the Skarner is now here to provide the unkillable front line. 30 seconds, 15 rather on the Misfortune. Both Cloud Drape and Baron are on the table.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the blue team is going to look to do. Maybe reset, set some vision up for the Baron. Oh, they're actually starting, never mind.
Yeah, it's just going to be a two-man startup on this one. I don't know about this, Bruno. They do not have the health bars. Maybe with the Leona here, they can contest this one. It doesn't seem like any red members, except for the
looking for something.
Really have a suspicion. They'll be spotted out as he comes in, already down half HP, but no smite in the area. This could be the chance. Teleport being channeled from the Darius, but Skarner has finally arrived. 4,000 HP. They have full sight on the Echo. He goes into the pit. Can he fire this smite? No, he can't, and no ultimate either. He's going to go down. Valiant attempt, and I respect it. But that does probably mean that the red team might be looking at an end of game one not too long into the future as the blue squad, they have their eyes set. They smell the blood in the water, and they're looking to chase these members down. Bruness has found multiple kills. Misfortune will do what she can, but the damage just isn't enough. These health bars are too damn tanky. And a 4-for-1 trade. Shaco, the last member standing. But he's not going to be enough. There is no way he could turn this one around. They're not even going to let him get a trap off. One Nexus turret falls. The second will soon follow suit. And it's going to be Brunessis and Squad. The gauntlet was thrown. They tried to go for the Darius matchup, but there's only one king in the top lane. And his name is Brunessis.
Yeah, what a performance from the top laner of the blue team. He looked at the other side, saw the areas. Yeah. He saw the Darius there and said, no, you're not gonna do that. Not on my neighborhood.
And that was the red team pulling all of the stops, right? It was swapping their best player to the top lane, giving him the mirror matchup, saying, hey, we trust you, trust that you're a better gamer, and that you're going to bring us home to a victory. We got smashed. There's no two ways about it. I mean, the bot lane went well for the red team, but all in all, they got picked apart, dismantled. So I don't know what the adaptation is going into game two. I can't imagine what else you're going to do unless we find ourselves in a tournament draft scenario where you can ban away that Darius. The blind pick format just really highlighting the one tricks, and that Darius is a little bit too strong.
Yeah, he definitely is. In terms of adaptation for the red team, though, maybe looking for some smarter itemization and summoner choices. Like you said, no one had a QSS by the end of the game. Not a single one of them. That's incredibly disrespectful when you have a starter on the other team. So smarter itemization and summoner choices would go a long way for them.
And I think that's actually like one of the exceptions to the rule we talked about earlier, where if you're behind, you want to buy more damage because buying more defense when your enemies are ahead isn't going to be effective. It's just going to mean you're going to do even less. But QSS is kind of that one example, right? When there's these really easy to pull off hard CC maneuvers like the Skarner ult, like the Leona ult, you need to buy the QSS. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much damage you buy, you're never going to get to use it. So I agree with you. I'd like to see a bit of a smarter itemization, but I mean, I don't feel like the red team played that bad during out that match. And we saw the great level 1. They were able to get the bot lane significantly ahead, but when it came down to it, it just felt like there was nothing they could do in that top lane. And I would like to see if they continue with Warwick 1v9, trying to take the fight to the Darius in a top lane, he has to show a little bit more caution because trying to go all in level 1 like that against the Darius main, and I want to point out again, if you know how to play Darius really well, you know that you take your W level 1 to stack up your Hemorrhage and stack up your Conqueror stacks as fast as possible. Warwick 1v9 took his cue. So that just shows me that this was less of a, hey, I know this matchup and I think I'm a better Darius, and more of, hey, I just think I'm a better player and I'm going to beat him at his own thing. So maybe a little less pride, maybe a little less try to show off and pick something that is a bit more safe and a bit better in team fights. And that team could have a chance.
Yeah, and Warwick 1v9 definitely got people checked this game. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake twice. And he knows what the enemy top laner is going to play, so maybe try to go for a counter.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Question is, though, does Brunessis even go for the Darius? Do you start to play Inception levels of mind games of, okay, I just beat my opponent on Darius. Now they're going to play a Darius counter pick. So I'm going to play a counter to Darius's counter picks. You never know. You don't get to see what your opponent's pick in blind pick. That would be pretty insane. But again, this red team has not made any changes to their draft at all today. They have played the exact same 5 champions, Darius, Skarner, Veigar, Samira, and Leona, every single time. The Veigar's locked in. They're hovering a couple of different options, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they just ran it back because it doesn't look easy to beat.
Yeah, and I think the blue team has to stick with what worked for them. The MF was great into the Samira, so keep that in and look for some adaptation elsewhere.
I'm so excited. Bruno, I'm so excited.
Warwick! Yeah, let's go, boy!
Warwick 1v9 on Warwick! It comes true. The prodigal son has returned to the Rift. Warwick 1v9 is going to be blessing us with the Warwick. Now, I want to say that before we go off to break here, we are going to take a short break as these players get onto the Rift. We have not yet seen Warwick's 1v9's Warwick. Now, thanks to the name, I can only assume that he's good at the champion. I would hope that if you name yourself after a champ, that you have put in a significant amount of time into playing that champ. We've seen him pop off on the Kayn, but I hope we're in for a treat. Without further ado, though, let's get into a break. Let's give my voice a rest before we get on to the Summoner's Rift. In this game 2 of the best of 3, it's do or die for the blue team. They've got to pull out a win here, and it's down to Warwick on his signature champion. Don't go anywhere.
O inglês une todas as culturas e transforma um mundo em um só. E faz parte da cultura inglesa trazer este mundo até você. Aprender inglês de verdade, de forma dinâmica e divertida, com aulas ao vivo pela internet, faz parte da cultura inglesa. Com os professores mais capacitados do mercado, que te ajudarão a falar inglês desde a primeira aula. Ser a escola de inglês mais completa, com as melhores condições de pagamento, faz parte da cultura inglesa. O mundo faz parte da cultura inglesa.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Trevor, audio Goodrich, and it's Teacher Bruno bringing you what could be our last game of the day, our last game of, unfortunately, this series, and this trip through Cultura Inglesa's greatest homework assignment on the planet. We saw some interesting changes in Game 1 to try to deal with the composition that has just been unbeatable from the Red Squad, specifically the Darius in the top lane. And it was Warwick 1v9 who tried to throw down the gauntlet and just challenge him to a mirror matchup. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. He got slammed into the ground. So now we get to see a special treat. Warwick 1v9 is going to play the champion that he named himself after in the potentially top lane. Actually, now that I think about it, he might even swap back to jungle because that's where we've seen him have his most success. What would you rather see, Bruno? Warwick top against Darius or Warwick in the jungle?
I don't think Warwick has a very good matchup against the Darius top lane, so I would rather see him sent into the jungle. Yeah, I think he would get crossed.
I said it out loud that it sounded weird to me.
So I was actually wondering why would he have saved this Warwick pick until this moment? Is it because he thinks the champion is just not viable in the meta?
Well, for one, I think it is, unfortunately, not as viable a pick as a lot of others. There's kind of a lot of champions that do what Warwick does better. I mean, what he really offers in a fight is backline access and then single target lockdown. But there's so much more reliable ways to get there because Warwick just kind of runs at you, right? If you're low HP already, then he gets really fast when he runs at you. But when you're looking at champions like Jarvan, if you want to get backline access, there's the Elise. I mean, even the Skarner basically does what Warwick does, but better. But it still is a champion that can snowball very effectively, and we are actually going to get to see it in the top lane. By the way, that is an ignite from Warwick 1v9, and unfortunately not a flash.
But the balls in this man, I'm impressed. Honestly, I have to give him that. Taking the Warwick against the Darius in the top lane, it takes a lot of courage.
And now having to start that lane, no flash, and actually he lost half his HP doing that. Decided to go for the recall. I am a big arguer against recalling, unless you are like literally 1 HP after like that level 1, because he's going to be giving up the level 2, which basically means if Brunesses wants to, he can just let this wave stay frozen in the middle of the lane and just never let Warwick get anywhere close, because by the time he gets to lane here, he's going to be a level down. And now Raptor, he's trying to take away the blue buff. What? The blast cone gets him out to safety. He doesn't steal away the buff, but he does buy a lot of time, as the red team is just kind of running on wild goose chase to stop him. Leona has not yet gone to lane. It looks like everybody's missing XP this time around, Bruno.
Yeah, but the mid lane is going to be
Yeah, I mean, both ADCs lost an entire wave. Vigar lost a wave. Leona still hasn't shown up to lane, and Warwick lost his wave too. So we're actually just going to have a fairly low income early game, which might stagnate it a little bit.
It definitely might. Now, the Warwick started with a tier. We might get some really interesting itemization from the Warwick here.
That's so strange. I've never seen this. Perhaps he goes Mirror Mana? I don't even know what Warwick really has as a spammy ability. I mean, I know he has his Q, but how often are you really going to be in bite range of the Darius? I mean, if I were him, I'd be spending most of my time under turret. So we'll see how easily he's able to stack that one up. Of course, tier, although it is a starting item now, it can only be stacked when damaging enemy abilities, or enemy units. So I think it still works on minions. With your abilities. In a losing matchup, that becomes very difficult.
Yeah, and another adaptation we saw from the blue team is the brand in the mid lane. Maybe once he gets to level 6, he might look to turn the ganks into his favor.
Yeah. Definitely the hopes here. I mean, we'll see what he's able to do. Oh, good dodge there on the body. Actually, I don't think Skarner meant to dodge that skill shot from the brand, but it totally saved his life. That big burst of movement speed he got from the phase rush let him dodge all of those skill shots. Here's the damage we were hoping to see. Warwick 1v9. Maybe he's onto something that we don't know. The first blood, even with the flash away, that bonus attack speed coming in clutch. And now in the bottom lane, it's a stun, it's an ignite, and it might be... No, it's Misfortune picking up the kill on a knife's edge, but Orisign goes down. Blue team, they are clapping back right now. They know this is their last chance.
They have cracked the code. They have definitely cracked the code. This brown Misfortune bot lane totally smashing the Leona Samira.
Yeah, she definitely is. Now we'll just have to see if they can hold on to it. The red team has not really fallen behind before. We have seen them always be in a position of power, a position of dominance. So we don't know how cleanly they come back from a deficit, but we do know they're damn good at generating them. And it looks like the Darius might be doing that right here. Can he find the Q? He took a lot of minion damage. Now Warwick gets another solo kill. Oh my word, and he flashes the emote. You deserve that. Unless you die here.
Oh my god.
Wow. He does have to blow the ultimate. That's going to feel really bad. Oh my word. That's just unfortunate. Oh, the flash coming out from Misfortune. Good job blowing that summoner spell. But another solo kill in the top lane. 2-0 now. And denying that massive minion wave. Warwick 1v9 starting to maybe get in his opponent's head.
Yeah, he might live up to the name tag.
That he might indeed, and we can definitely see that he is, in fact, a good Warwick player. And it looks like he's going towards that Mirror Mana build, so it's going to offer him a lot of raw AD later on in the game for a relatively cheap price, is kind of the biggest benefit of it. I don't think Warwick is one that typically runs into mana issues, but just the efficiency of the item, I suppose, is good on any auto-attack based champion, which a lot of Warwick's damage does come from that increased attack speed when his targets are low on HP. We'll see if he is able to snowball with it, though, because again, Warwick suffers from kind of a simplicity problem where Yeah, he's easy to learn, he's easy to play, but he's not very deep either. He doesn't have a lot of options in team fights. He kind of just runs at you. And if he's strong enough to kill you, then great. And if he's not, doesn't really do much else.
But it might be the case for the first option in this game, right?
The former could definitely be the situation we see ourselves in, because Warwick has a lot of damage here. The Volley Bear is so low, though, level 4, and he's going to go down. That's a kill. Ultimate Warwick Bruness able to get any other off. The brand does so much damage, and a baby cage stuns 2. Great CC coming in from the Vigar. Will Brand have enough damage? No, the Blast Cone puts him back in range, and he's out of mana, so nowhere to go. A flying auto attack will take him down, and that's going to be 2 kills going over to the red team, making this one a bit more interesting.
Yeah, and there was just a classic Mortal Kombat moment right there. Just as Brent thought he was escaping, the Skyler would get over here move to
finish him. I love it. But yeah, I mean, that was much needed for the red team. It's always been the Bruness's show, right? But when he doesn't show up, we need somebody else to. Traditionally, it's been the Samira, but that lane isn't going great for them either. It's so refreshing to see this Vigar step up, because for the longest time, he's been in his lane. He's been farming. He's been the late-game insurance for his squad. But it's good to see that Liss can also step out of the lane and impact these early fights, these early skirmishes. Speaking of, Brunessis is leaving a 20-minion wave to go for this play right now. He wants this kill something fierce. Warwick, if he can get out, will actually have really turned this one around because of the minion advantage, but he has no flash, he has nowhere to go, so it's a kill over to the Darius.
Yeah, it looked great in the early stages, but now it's kind of the Darius is turning this on his head with the help of the Skarner.
Yeah, the Warwick just wasn't able to snowball that lead. A couple cheesy kills are great and all, but if you're not turning them into CS, into plate money, into physical objectives on the map, then that differential is very easily overcome. Early gold doesn't mean as much as a lot of people think it does. And here, scuffle in the bot lane. It's 2v2. A heal immediately popped, and there's the ultimate from Samira. No ignite thrown from Leona. There's a bullet time, though, and they have to flash away from that one. Meanwhile, we're going to cut to the top side, where Warwick is once again getting dunked on. Down here in the bottom lane, both members, all 4, incredibly low. And here comes the Thunder Bear himself. Leona going to do what she can to buy some space, but it just doesn't matter. The flash forward's going to grab her after the kill. Top lane is going to belong to the red squad. They're going to pop the Herald and grab this first turret, meaning they do come out slightly ahead on the play. But still, some gold back into the pocket for the blue squad.
But this Skarner has been so impactful. It's just bonkers how impactful this man has been. He's 0-5, 100% Q participation 10 minutes into the game.
Bruno, we've got this system where we're naming these teams after these players, but I'm having a hard time figuring out who should be the captain of the red squad. Brunessis on the Darius has just been popping off all day, putting up big numbers, but I mean, you're highlighting how useful this starter has been, and that has not changed at all today. And then we've even seen Ori have 20 bomb games. It just feels like this is one of the best group of 5 players that we have seen in the last 2 weeks.
That might just be the case, yeah. I absolutely agree with you. And even as you highlighted earlier, the Vigar is starting to show some really good work in this match right here.
And once again, this all becomes even more impressive when you take into consideration that these players not native English speakers, and they're speaking English. They're communicating, they're practicing all in a language that they're not that familiar with, or at least are still in the process of getting familiar with. That is going to be a kill going down, though, in trade for that dragon. Brunessis was caught on the wrong side of enemy lines with no support from his team. And it's going to be 2 dragons for the red squad, closing in on potentially forcing that soul point in just a few minutes.
And Brunessis is not having the best of games right now. Leona looking for an all-in.
Zenith Blade going to land with the Braum. Good job by Braum to block a lot of the pressure, allow
Oh
the
my
to get
god,
up
they're
safely.
turning.
Turnaround. Very funny little animation from the volley there. And apparently it's ineffective because they're able to find some kills. Oh man, Braum got a little bit greedy and Brunessis comes in to save the day. The teleport from the base comes in clutch. It's a triple kill for Darius. Bruno, he heard you talking smack and he decided to make you eat those bricks.
And that he did, teleporting into the bot lane, dunking them on the head, and that's an easy double kill for himself.
Those are the plays you dream of when you play Darius. You main Darius for those moments. And it was absolutely perfect for him. As now, it does seem like it's a bit of a lane swap here. Samir's just going to head up to that top side, and we'll see Brunessis remain down here, try to pick up those plates. Not actually being answered by the Blue Squad, though. They are sending the Misfortune and the Braum back to answer this, as they don't really have a tower to defend up at the top side.
Yeah, and the only thing that the blue team has going for themselves at this point is really the bottom lane. The EMF has been doing wonders for them, but Brand might get killed.
Took the damage, the flash, the ignite is enough to put him in execute range. Vygar now 3-0, putting up some decent numbers. The Darius, though, he thought he could get a 1v2, bit off a bit more than he could chew. You gotta remember, he hasn't spent the gold from that triple kill yet, so still effectively as strong as a 3-5 Darius, and that's just not enough to take down his bot.
Yeah, a little bit of greediness from Brunessis. Gets punished for it. Unfortunately, the Q did not go to the EMF. Of course, Brown is going to make some good use of the gold, but ideally, you would want this to go in the MF's pockets.
And Braum with 2 kills on the board, 25% of his teams right now. Definitely not where you want that goal to be, but we'll see if they can put a little bit onto the Samira or the Skarner here, or he picks up that kill, as Brand does his best to try to survive, but it is just not enough. 0-0 and 8 now, 80% KP still through 15 minutes, and this team has been incredibly active. I want to continue to sing the Skarner's praises. Oh man! Brunes, he's feeling a little bit salty after that last round. He wants to give it a run back now that he's got some items. He spent that gold, and he finds his revenge. It's a double kill on the bot lane, as the rest of his team is cleaning up top lane. They might be pushing into the base. They draw the TP out of Warwick just to save that tower. No, they flashed in, they grab him right out of the TP, and they're looking for the kill. It was actually Brand that went in, pardon me, and that was... Wow, that's not what Brand thought he was teleporting into.
Yeah, and things go from bad to worse for the blue team. It appears that Warwick had some connection issues. He has been sitting in base for the last 2 minutes. Yeah, and this game is going downhill.
Definitely unfortunate for him and his team. They were obviously at a disadvantage anyway, so we like to think that the competitive integrity is intact, but for any of the players involved, it doesn't feel good to lose or to win in a mismatch. So hope he's able to get back onto the Rift soon. I'm sure all the players will agree, and maybe for the time being, the red team will slow the roll a little bit. Maybe they'll give him a little bit of breathing room. But I mean, they've been playing against 4-man squads all day, so they're probably used to it.
Yeah. It must be a familiar scenario for them.
Now that I think about it, Brunessis was the one that just picked Darius into a Malphite top and killed him like 4 times in lane, so I doubt this is going to give him any mercy.
Yeah, victory at all costs.
All is fair in love, war, and League of Legends. The Cloud Drake is now on the Rift, and this would be the sole point for the Red Squad. And Warwick, unfortunately, still not back, so this is a 4v5 at best. But 2 members are still on their way. Now they've showed up, so all 5 members here and ready to go. We see Smite available, as well as Flash and Ultimate from the Volley Bear. So the steal is on the table. There's vision on him, though, and they're going to smartly pull it out of the pit. Trying to get some vision on here. Looks like they want to go for the seal. There's the bullet time over the wall. Volibear goes in. He's able to get away. Big pickup for his squad. But how many members did they lose in the backhand? The red team, they laid a trap. They were waiting for the engage. And all 5 members are going to go down. Misfortune, the final one with the Zenith Blade catcher in the back. And it's the clean ace for the red team as punishment for that Dragon Steam.
That's where the meme from the Avengers movie comes in. What did it cost? Everything.
Everything. And that is exactly what the blue team are feeling right here. The Herald dropped from the mid lane. The inhibitor is going to fall here just 18 minutes in. As long as Shelly stays alive, yes, 613 HP. There's nothing to stop her from charging this one down. And it could potentially look for more just due to the numbers advantage and finding to pick onto the brand. Unstoppable goes Brunessus, and this could be the killing blow right here. The final nail in the coffin. They find another pick. Ori goes into the back line with a huge ultimate and falls down to just about 100 HP. That might make the red team nervous, but if it does, they sure aren't showing it, as that second Nexus turret is under fire. Just a few minions remain, and they found the Braum pull. The Nexus is exposed. They've got the numbers advantage. Misfortune is the only one standing, and she doesn't even have ult. And yes, it's going to go over to the red squad. A 2-0 victory. This one not even lasting 19 minutes. Unfortunately, it had to come off the back of a disconnect, but the way that they were playing, it looked like it was going to be a done deal regardless. Congratulations to the Darius/Samira/Skarner/Leona/Vigar team, because you were all the main carries there.
Yeah, and a great play on the day from all the players across the board. The Vigar was the one who we wish we could have seen more of in the other games, but this game, he definitely stepped up to the play, helped his team, and it's well-deserved from them.
Yeah, that's not a dig on the Vigar, at all. It's just the fact that Vigar, as a champion, wants to wait until 30, 40 minutes to start playing the game, and the game should last that long. He didn't even get a chance, guys. But Bruno, I'm going to ask you a tough question here. Obviously, we saw a lot of players really perform today. Who are you going to give your MVP of the series to?
I think it has to go to the Skarner. You might look to the fleshiness of the Darius, but I think the Skarner's role in this team is just paramount to the way they play the game. So to me, in my book, Skarner is the MVP.
I couldn't agree with you more, Bruno. We saw so many situations in which that Skarner was playing so selfishly. 008 was a tagline that I remember calling out during that game, and that was a scoreline that we saw very frequently. He's never been in the spotlight except for the one game they needed him to be. And that's what stands out the most to me that makes this player an MVP in my mind, is that when everybody else was having a rough game, it was Skarner, a tank Skarner nonetheless, but a tank Skarner with Titanic Hydra that stepped up and still carried home the game. So a supportive tank jungler that could put on the carry pants when needed to, that's MVP material in my book. But unfortunately, that's the last game that we have today. It's going to be a 2-0 sweep in this best of 3. Big congratulations to the red team for making it all the way to the grand finals to win in the whole damn kit and caboodle. It was a wonderful journey making it here. I want to give a big shout out to Cultura Inglesa and to you, Bruno, and anybody involved in making this production happen. It's been a wonderful journey, and I look forward to any tournaments to come. But that is going to wrap it up for us here on the desk. So, Bruno, unless you have any final words, I think we're going to sign off for the night.
No, thank you. Great cast on the day. Lots of good memories to look back on. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
All right, good night, everybody. Make sure you go follow Cultura Inglesa here on the Twitch stream and over on their Facebook, their Twitter, any other socials they have, because they do some amazing things, and they give the best homework assignments on the planet. But for tonight, it's Trevor Audio Goodrich, and it's Teacher Bruno signing out.